bring her down a few levels.
And we are live.
Lyslander.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
Hello.
Welcome on back to another
Hello.
wonderful adventure of Chimera Collective.
Thank
So
you.
we'll see. We I'm just what, from the last couple of one shots, not just this one but other ones, we always say, oh, it's gonna be a 3-parter, and then it ends up being longer. So I'm not gonna say how many parts this is going to be because we don't know at this point.
I was gonna say 2, but then
It is what it is.
I was like, you know what? I have a feeling because I always forget about battles. That's the thing I always forget to calculate in is how long battles take. And I
Yep.
realized that I have a few more significant battles in this, and I was like, that's gonna eat up time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe I should let you guys know this may be like 3 sessions, maybe 4. I'm not gonna rush it. It's a great story. We'll work with everyone's schedules. But this is the first day of Tomb of the Cursed, another Chimera Collective episode. For those of you who are not familiar with Chimera Collective, they are a series of episodic one-shots that follow agents from an agency known as the Chimera Collective. And this it's a world separate from the normal Behold roleplay worlds. If anything, it would be like an alternate dimension or a separate world entirely or something along those lines. But um, a world of my creation. So it's total homebrew. It is heavily inspired by things that I love in popular media. So
Which I
our
love.
agents basically go on missions for the collective, and their main goals are to investigate and solve problems that arise around the world that are of like strange nature or magical nature, something that's causing havoc in a particular area where they need people who are highly skilled and trained to handle these situations. So the Chimera Collective is made up of basically kind of like the Kingsmen, where there was like a bunch of wealthy dudes that were like, we want to do something to like help people and like do better because the government's not doing enough. Chimera Collective essentially did a similar thing. They're like, nobody's paying attention to this, no government's willing to fund this because this is like in an outskirt over here or whatever. And so that's how they started, was a bunch of rich guys with a lot of money, or girls, rich people, that wanted to do some good. Usually, like one of their founders is he's like a third son or something in line, and to his family's dynasty. So he wanted to do something that will make a mark. Was one of their founders, and so it has since then grew and become a source that many of the governments of the world actually reach out to for help because they've proven themselves over the years with their agents and the skills that they've had. They still try to keep pretty much under the radar, but there are a few individuals around the world that know or are contacts of the Chimera Collective that will reach out with new jobs and opportunities and things like that. So we have a group of agents here. They're fairly new. They've only been on one other mission together, and then a few of them have been on 2 missions together. And so this would be the 3rd mission for some of you, and second for others. So last time they were on a mission to basically help escort an ambassador over to a location in the Chaytal Islands for some peace talks. Some shenanigans occurred. Feel free to watch the VOD or YouTube to catch up on that episode. That's Blood on the Zephyr is what that's called. So this is we're starting off 2 weeks after the events of Blood on the Zephyr. They were successful in their mission to safely escort the ambassador to the island of Chaytal, where she has been involved in peace talks since, and the talks are still ongoing. But what you've heard through the grapevine is that it does sound promising, and that the battles in the region of their civil war that was going on have ceased, and so they are at a ceasefire. Peace talks are continuing. Negotiations are being made, and so you guys successfully were able to basically initiate that process. That was huge. So upon your return, you guys basically had 2 weeks to kind of do your own activities. So I would like to, go around and see what you guys have been up to for the past 2 weeks. Um, and then we'll come back together. Basically, you all have been summoned back to the Chimera Collective headquarters on Heart Moon's Day, which sucks. So Heart Moon's Day is my world's version of Valentine's Day. To give you guys to give the audience some quick information about that. Basically, Heart Moon's Day is when two of the three moons that orbit the planet, Vikesh, which is a bluish moon associated with masculinity, um, and has like a yearly orbit, kind of joins with Neoma, a golden moon feminine association, and they form a heart in the sky, and this happens once a year in certain parts of the world that can see it. And people believe that if you spend time with someone that you care about on Heart Moon's Day, that your relationship is blessed by Selune, who is a goddess of the moon, and she's oft a goddess that is associated with many couples will basically call out to her and ask for her blessing when they're ready to have children and things like that. So she's commonly associated with lovers in that way. And so, and Selune is very dear to one of our players, Azarin's character, Kieran. She is a cleric of Selune, so it's a very important day for her. The temple usually has a huge festival and celebration, so this is a very big inconvenience for her. She's very used to celebrating this day, but Mother Superior basically pressed upon her to go. So, but we'll go ahead and kind of go around, see what everyone's been doing the past 2 weeks, and then you can describe kind of how you make your way over to the Chimera Collective after being summoned. So we'll start with, I'm just going to use my Discord video, so I'm going to start with you, Azarin. What's Kieran been up to? What has Agent Twilight Princess been up to in her 2 weeks of downtime?
Well, she went and spent a lot of time with Mother Superior, letting her know all the crazy stuff that happened on that blimp. She told her all the crazy stuff she saw in that party, whatever that was. And she was told pretty much she's not ready for that until she's old enough to take part in a certain festival, whatever that means. It's not in my prayer book because it's for priestesses of another level, and apparently I'm not there yet. It's like some super secret thing for Salem. I don't get it. So I was helping out the local town, and I did some work at one of the sawmills, and apparently sawdust is explosive.
Sorry, wrong music, but it kind of went with the explosive part.
So I'm not allowed to help out at the sawmill anymore. Um,
Ooh.
so yeah, but I healed everyone that was hurt and burned, so that was good. But yeah, I was kind of shushed away to do field work because um, they didn't want any unforeseen accidents, as Mother Superior puts it, at the festival. Whatever. There's nothing flammable there.
It's just a little explosion. It's okay. um, so what has Wisteria been up to these 2 weeks?
Well, after her first mission, she had planted a tree from one of the fruits that she collected. So she checked on that, see how the progress it was making, make sure it was taking to its new environment. And then she, along those lines, she also sought out Dr. Eve to do some experiments on the fruits to see if it's something that she could replicate. So we did some experiments on that. We're looking into it, trying to figure out what we're doing with that. Get some unusual information about them. Makes them a little creepy. She's of course probably gone at least one date with Elowen.
Nice.
We didn't talk about exactly how many, but we know there's probably at least one in there. We probably had one planned for today, and we got interrupted. Rude.
Yep. Yeah,
Rude.
Yeah, pretty upset about that.
I'm sure they also had a good heart to heart because she's probably been having some nightmares over what happened at the end of on the Zephyr.
Basically taking a
So
literal stab at me.
yeah,
that was
yeah,
rough.
that one hurt. That one hurt. So
Not as much as it hurt her.
yeah.
Literally.
But yeah, she's probably just been spending time with Elowen other than that.
So did you want to share what the doctor's findings were, or do you want to keep that to yourself for now for like RP later, or?
No, I could share it. Let me actually pull it up though, because I don't remember all of it word for word. Um,
Finally found the music I was looking for.
so we found that the tree that was producing the healing fruit had a symbiotic relationship with the corpse flower. The corpse flower would consume a living being, shift the life force over to the tree, and then consume its corpse. And the tree would then produce fruit out of it. I'm sorry, Elowen, I do believe you ate one of these fruit in that episode. So you now eaten the life
I
force of another
people?
being.
I ate
Yeah.
a person that became a fruit?
Their life force became a fruit.
Well, you know what? As sick as this sounds, Elowen actually wouldn't be too terribly sickened by it because she's all about, nature and, like, in a way it's recyclable. We became part of the earth and grew a tree into fruit, so it'll probably throw her off, like,
only the person was
that's
alive
nice.
when this happened.
Yeah,
The person was alive when this happened.
Basically, the wizards sacrificed live beings to the corpse flower, and the tree, the symbiotic magical bond allowed the tree to siphon the life energy, which killed the person, which made the corpse flower happy because the corpse flower prefers corpses, and that necromantic energy was transferred to become a healing energy because those of you who are familiar with D&D, necromantic energy is associated with healing. So,
so it was a live person at first.
The fruit.
So that
slightly more disturbing.
That's a no. Like if it was like a dead body first, fine, but
it was live.
Yeah, that doesn't sit too well now. Now it's like, oh.
No, Wisteria's a little uncomfortable now too. She still has some of them.
A couple.
But to be fair, only Elowen and Dr. E would ever know about this. So good luck the rest of you.
I would just be like, I don't know how to feel about this.
If we're desperate enough, I guess.
So now it's a question of whether or not Dr. E would eventually let it slip out at some point.
Yeah.
And
whether or not Dr. E is going to try to recreate the experiment, because with how high you rolled, you do have all the information you need to try to recreate it if you wanted to.
I have the tree though. I have the
not
tree.
with live people like the wizards did.
We'll start with small livestock. Move our way up.
See how that goes. Yeah.
That's better.
Is it? Just sacrifice the livestock. You know what, while we're at it, let's just go round up some of the monster beings and just throw them in there too. We don't want them there. They attack us, so.
Look, we gotta get rid of the monsters anyways. Might as well get some good out of it. That's what I'm saying.
Right? With dragons being a problem, I got a flower that will take care of that. As long as we can get it there.
They're fairly rare, but you can always make a fun little expedition to a jungle and look for one.
Mysterious pondering the information at this point. She's been disturbed.
There are lots and lots. There are lots and lots of bad scribbles in Dr. E's journal.
Yeah. We'll just go ahead to you since we kind of segued into your character. Dr. E, what have you been up to for the past 2 weeks?
Let's see here. So he's been helping Wisteria with that whole thing, and now that that's stuck in his head, he's trying to figure out if there's a way to use something other than a corpse flower, something that will siphon the life force away from it without eating the corpse. That way, if we use livestock, the livestock could still go to the butcher. And then, it's like a twofer. Now it's not just feeding you, it's also healing you. And let's see here.
You have your research minions working on that problem right now.
I've given them bits and pieces. None of them have the whole picture. Just
Typical.
That is a legit black book project right there, sir.
anyways.
Sus.
Let's see here. So besides that, what was it? He's been digging into some personal stuff from his past, but have not gotten any tangible results back from that yet. And then let's see here. He also prepared another experimental elixir for each of you to hold on to, and when the time comes, you will all whenever you guys decide to do that, you will roll a d4 and I'll tell you what you got.
Yep.
So everybody here, and if Weirds is able to join us again at some point as well, has an experimental elixir that you can take when you think you might need it.
So yeah, you can add to your inventory experimental elixir or Dr. E potion or something, and then when you want to take it, you'll find out what it is.
Yep.
Dr. E's every use potion.
Yeah.
I
They're all
already have
beneficial. There's you can be confident in that he didn't fail in making one, but it's just you don't know what the effect's gonna be.
It's got one of those old timey labels with like the cursive like swiggles on the sides of the sticker.
Dr. E's even standing there going, oh dear. I don't know what this one does. Here you go.
I would like to point out that Ash also didn't fail in making her potions, and we still got that one potion of what was it, exsanguination. So
Karen also
That
made-
was
We're
a
not gonna talk
very
about that.
successful potion. It
It
was an
was!
extremely successful potion. Just
Karen also made
And
two
fail.
healing potions.
wrong time.
No comment.
Is that all for you, Dr. E?
Yes. That's
All
it.
right. And Siva, what has Crystal Gunn been up to these past 2 weeks?
Okay. All right. So Crystal, after everything that had happened, went back to her old home district, and she spent some of the days helping out at a soup kitchen, and then she donated some money to the kitchen, but not so significant as an amount that it would create any kind of a fuss or stir. Just a modest amount. While she was at the soup kitchen, she's been making very discreet inquiries about her family that lived there, particularly her sister. But given that it's only been 2 weeks, I don't feel that these would have led to any kind of revelations yet. But the word is kind of out there. We'll see where that goes. Let's see. I would have probably spent my evenings and free time at home just being quite grateful that I didn't have to go out on a daily basis and hustle for day-to-day money to keep my little apartment. And I also would have tried to connect somehow with the family of Bosun Riggs, possibly through the captain from the airship. Or other contacts after clearing with the Chimera Collective that was an acceptable thing to do. And I would have reached out to his family, expressed my condolences, and I think that would have given Crystal some measure of closure. I don't think she would have felt it was her place to speak at any kind of funeral or wake or anything. If there had been one, she probably would have gone. But I think she would have been very much in the background.
Yeah, and there was, and you were able to get that information from the captain, and so it would have been easy for you to attend and say a few words to the family after if you felt the need to. So that definitely was easily done, and very nice
I
of you to do.
I don't know if a kind of selfish motive from her point of view, really, in many ways. She just really, you know, had a lot of guilt about the whole thing. She really felt that if she hadn't asked the bosun to take her to that part of the ship, he wouldn't have been there, and he might not have fallen victim to the monster. So that's where that kind of was coming from, I think.
Yeah. And did you have any plans for today that you were doing? Were you going out with a friend or
Um,
staying in?
not that, not that she would disclose.
Mhm.
If there was something, I think it would be very close to her chest. I don't think she would have said anything to anyone.
Gotcha.
Um, but certainly, she appreciates the day and the significance of it. And again, a time for her, a lot of time for reflection and self-assessment and kind of deciding where her head is really at. I think she's finding the world within the Chimera Collective is not as black and white as her world was before.
Yeah. And I imagine in the past, this was probably a really good day to pull some cons in the past, but you don't feel the need as much to do so anymore, huh?
Yes, yeah.
Because, yeah, a lot of lonely guys today. They're easily depart from their money, usually. So it's nice to have
What
a
are
break.
you talking?
Um, a lot of growth for Crystal. A lot of growth. That's really cool to see.
Yeah,
And
I think before, it was very much a survival. She was really in survival mode. But I don't think I mean, yes, she probably offed some people on contracts, but they probably were people that in her mind, the world was better off without them. But seeing sort of collateral damage of what she feels are innocent people is something that may be a little new to her, so she's trying to process that.
that makes sense. And last, since, by the way, we don't have Weirds with us today, but if he's watching, you can join anytime that you want to. If you're feeling better. He's just not, he's feeling a little under the weather, so we're hoping that he can join us later tonight. If not, we'll fit him in next session. But yeah, just putting that out there if he's watching. We want you to join. But Elwyn, what have you been up to these last 2 weeks?
Yo, not too much. She thanks to this last job, she was able to finally buy a small little cottage by the forest outside of the town where the Chimera Collective is. It's a bit of a ways away, so she has a horse and a carriage, so she can hire someone to take her in and out of town. But she loves riding horseback as well, so she's got a stable and all that good stuff. She did her very best to try and heal Wisteria mentally by reassuring her that, hey, it's all cool. Wasn't you doing it. It's fine. Don't feel guilty. It's gonna happen. And then like she mentioned before, probably went on like at least a date, if not two. So she's very very much looking forward to this Heart Moons festival, and she's heard of it, but she's never been to like the event or anything before, so she doesn't know what to expect. And is excited to kind of surprise Wisteria by going, which will probably more than likely be rudely interrupted by the Chimera Collective. So there
Find
goes
you
that date idea.
how they do it.
Yeah.
The thought that
So-
counts, but rude.
Yeah, date / first time experiencing this, and guess we're not gonna do either, so. That's pretty much it. She's just buying shit for herself.
So wherever you guys are, basically, early that day, you guys receive a messenger that comes and hands you a scroll, which you unravel, and you see that it says your attention or your presence is immediately requested at the Chimera Collective for an urgent mission that leaves today. So you guys wherever you are at the time, you would need to make your way over to the Chimera Collective. Anyone want to say anything about that, what you were doing when you got the message, or should we just kind of fast forward to headquarters?
I was probably right in the middle of saying, "Hey, Wisteria, can I talk to you for a moment?" So this basically like, "Oh, so there's this really fun." Oh, okay, hold on.
You have like this list of like festival activities you wanted to do.
Yeah.
I want to sleight of hand the list as she's reading her other letter and start looking at it. Like,
Yeah. So you're all summoned and you arrive at the Chimera Collective and are greeted by the usual crew that are there. And so
Lord
Lord
Acastus?
yes, Lord Acastus, Lavander the Third, the great Leonin, like head of the Chimera Collective, greets you. Welcome! Come in. We've much to do before we send you on your way. I hope that the travels were not too difficult for you. I know with the festival, the streets get very congested.
Which was fine. Thank you.
Good. So sorry, Agent Twilight Princess, to pull you away from the festivities. I know how important this day is for you.
I was probably gonna get like given busy work anyway. When the superior is mad at me, I won't get into the details. Just involves fire again.
We are. She sent us a very interesting letter. And you can see the smoke. So, there's that. Impressive, really.
Well, they should tell people that stuff because who knows that? Like,
That wood is flammable? Many, actually. It's fairly common, but I'm sure Dr. E can go over that with you if you need a refresher on the science of fire. I joke, of
Burns.
course.
Dr. E hears the I joke and he starts putting a book back away in his bag.
Well, agents, come join me around the table. Gina? Ellery? And in come the other two. Ellery kind of like, clutching a book and has his glasses in hand. He takes a seat. And Gina comes in and you just hear, "Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy?" And she's like, and then she notices that you guys are here and she goes, and she straightens up, but she has this happy little dachshund in her arms who you recognize as Rufus, who's the general's dog that Charlie Burbank's rescued, Essentials rescued on the Zephyr. So,
Thank God.
and he happily barks and wiggles, and Gina kind of sets him down and tries to act her soldier self, and takes like a very awkward seat, trying to hope that you guys didn't hear her baby talk to the dog. Just kind of nods sternly at each of you. And Acastus looks over to Ellery and nods, and Ellery goes and passes out some passports essentially to you guys, with your code names on them, and shows that, and some tickets, and it shows that you guys are heading to the deserts of Al Sharai. And you know that if you look on Roll20, I'll kind of point out where these are located. It's in the central continent of Arde, which is the world. I'll ping it for us. So you guys will be kind of in that like central area there. I know the audience can't see it right now. I don't know how easy it is to switch over, but
Yeah, I can switch over. Let me just move this over here. There we go.
so I meant to put it on the map, but then forgot, and so I'll add it for next time. But essentially, you guys will be able to see the ping showing up here shortly. They're going to that region, and they're in Corventus right here is where the headquarters are located. So you guys will be flying over into the deserts of Al-Shirai shortly. And so Charlie is going to be joining you all, but he had some other business to attend to, so he's actually already there. And that's actually where Loxodons are from. And so he had some connections there and was there visiting some people. So he's just gonna kind of meet up with you guys later. He's got some of his own business to attend to, so hopefully he'll be able to join you at another later time. And Acastus will go ahead and say, so this mission is a little odd, I will say. We were contacted by one of our contacts. Her name is Leaf in the River, River for short. She's a tabaxi living out of the main city in Al-Shirai. And she said that essentially some ruins of an ancient city had been uncovered, and an archaeologist was able to form an expedition. His name's Taj al-Sarai, Turtle by nature. Very famous archaeologist in the region. He's been convinced that there was this secret city out in the desert in this region, and well, he proved that he was right by finding it. And he was able to get a expedition funded and large dig team of several other archaeologists and apprentices, and they all went out and then mysteriously disappeared. Something happened, and from what I know of the reports from River is that a team was sent in once they were able to open up an area to what they called a temple palace, and were able to enter the temple palace and pass in, but they never came out. And so another team was sent in from the expedition to find out what happened to them, and then they never returned. And well, the only ones that returned were the cook and one of the apprentice archaeologists who had been injured and wasn't able to actually go within the complex. The cook, being very superstitious, decided it best just to bring the young apprentice archaeologist with him and report it to the government. They then sent two separate teams to investigate what happened to the scientists and to the dig team, and they also were not heard from. Since then, there's been odd occurrences in the nearby cities and towns. The rivers have run red, and the crops have started mysteriously dying out suddenly. An increased number of great sandstorms in the area. Just strange occurrences that are not seen, especially not this rapidly one after another. And they think that there's some connection with the unearthing of these ruins. They're said to be cursed, though I don't know much information on that. Perhaps River can inform you a little more on that, but I would like you to go and meet up with our contact, River, and she will guide you to the ruins, and I'd like you to carefully examine what has occurred and see if you can stop these strange, unnatural occurrences from happening in the towns, if indeed it is stemming from this temple. Any questions?
What is the apprentice's name that survived?
She's a Yuan-Ti girl named Asma.
Does she have an inhaler?
Asma, but Asma. I know it sounds like Asma.
I don't know if you heard me. I was like, does she have an inhaler?
Yes. Breathing problem, yes.
Is that why she's always going?
Yep. Yuan-Ti are people with like essentially snake heads, for the audience who might not be familiar with that race. And it's ASMAA.
Oh,
Do
so
we have
close.
any idea of the age of the ruins that we're going to? How long they've been there?
River would probably be better to inform you on that. It wasn't in her reports. It's just that it was ancient and long forgotten. Thought myth, honestly, from what I understand.
I assume she might have some idea of the myths around it.
I do not know. Any other questions?
What was the name of the city?
Oh,
The lost
main city?
temple.
According to reports, she says it was known as Makaran.
Any idea what that might be, like the culture that might be from?
Makaran?
Yeah.
None of you have ever heard of this place. It does sound like ancient Al-Sharan, or what you've heard of like different cities and towns and stuff in the Al-Sharai Desert. But so it does sound like it's from that region. It's not like it sounds like it's from like, oh weird, that's usually something from like the north area. It's not like a disposed name. It's a name that sounds like it would be fitting in that area.
And based off of that, would I have any idea about what kind of culture or gods or scientific practices these people may have had?
Are you talking about the Al-Sharai Desert in general,
Yeah,
or okay?
like ancient
Doing
Al-Sharai
a
Desert.
history roll.
Okay, so that's plus 6, 21.
And Charlie would know this off the bat because his people are from here, but
God damn it, Charlie.
I'm just gonna dig that when Weirds watches the VOD later, he's gonna be cursing. So what'd you get? Sorry?
21.
21? Okay. Just bringing up my notes on that. Essentially, you know that the deserts are it's a desert region, and it's very like picture Egypt essentially.
Okay.
There's a lot of ancient civilizations in the area that have been uncovered on previous digs. This is just a new one that no one really was aware of. And that the region of the Al-Sharai Desert is populated predominantly by beast races, or what we would call beast races. So there's Leonin, like Alcastus is. So a lot of lion people. Tabaxi are very common. A Nubian, which is basically the opposite of Tabaxi. They're like dog, but they have that more of like Anubis faces, like Doberman type faces. So there's a
Like
Nubian.
jackals.
Yeah, like jackals. Exactly, with the longer snout. Yeah. Loxodon are very common there. Aarakocra in the form of cranes, like crane-like Aarakocra. Yuan-ti.
That's cool.
Oh, so a
Lizard.
lot of animals. A lot of animal type races.
Yes.
Oh.
Rabbit folk in the form of like desert jackrabbit. Rabbit folk, minotaurs, gnolls, and furbolgs are all common. The ones that are not common are human races, elves, dwarves, halflings, orcs. Not common. They're there in sporadic people, like people studying there or visiting or tourists and stuff, but generally it's not very, there's not heavy populations of them there. And culturally,
Anything about... Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
go ahead. Do you have any specific questions?
No, I was just going to reiterate in case there was, in case you had forgotten, but it sounded like you were continuing along those lines.
Oh, okay. There's a lot I can say. So is there anything in particular you're wondering about?
Well, it was mentioned that this might be a curse, so he was wondering what kind of gods they may have worshipped or sciences they may have practiced that might be misinterpreted as curses.
Got it. So there is a lot of mystics um, especially in the ancient lore of the area. Um, you do know that there was a practice of that there's a heavy practice in honoring the dead and in focus of the afterlife. So basically, the Egyptian gods exist in this land. I just went
Okay.
ahead and was like, you know what? They're there. Like in Forgotten Realms, the Egyptian gods are there. They're in my world.
Copy pasta.
Set, Anubis, all of them are Ra. It's all established lore within Al Sharai Desert. Just instead of Egypt, it's Al Sharai. Um, so that makes it kind of easy in terms of that. So you know that many of the ancient Alsharans practiced mummification and focused on the afterlife. A judgment of the soul was a huge thematic thing. So any other specific questions about kind of that general area or something different?
I think that gives me a good feel for what we're looking at here. Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have any questions for Acastus? Or your own knowledge? If anyone wants to see if they know any of that stuff too, you can give me a history check and I'll let you know kind of how familiar you are.
Why not?
18?
Yeah, you've heard, like, it's such a unique region that you know that it's populated by the beast races. You know a little bit about their gods and that there's really cool like ancient pyramids and stuff in the area. It's a popular tourist destination for those reasons.
Okay.
Very
21.
ancient part of the world. What was that?
That was a 21.
Oh, you know the
See if I
same
know the
stuff.
same thing.
Yeah. A Twilight Princess doesn't know too much. You got a 0?
She's got one religion.
A whole
All she
new
cares
land.
about.
These gods, who are they? Whole
There
new
can
area.
only be one.
Yep. Super hyper focused on Salune. And then Crystal, did you roll or?
I could. I think it's, I'm looking at my history and I have a negative modifier on it, but we'll see.
Yeah, right. See kind of where
Uh,
your
uh,
general information is, what you're
You know.
picturing.
it would be a 10.
A 10.
Better than 0.
Yeah. Oh, Rose
It's true.
said specifically we're muted. Are we muted? Can you guys hear us?
No, I think it was I think he meant Azrin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was purposely not saying things for dramatic effect.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
I caught on to that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the audience has caught on to that. I'm sorry, what was your roll again? I got
10.
distracted. 10. Okay. So 10, yeah, you know kind of the same as Wisteria. You know that it's a popular tourist destination. It's known as a very old part of the world, predominantly populated by beast-like races. So you know kind of the basics. Well, if there are no more questions, I think it's probably time you guys get going. You've got a ship to catch, and then in the city, you will meet with River later today, this evening, and then you guys can be off the next morning in your journey across the desert, is from what I understand. So, you ready?
And how long's the journey?
I'm not sure, but River will have a better understanding of how long it takes to get to the ruins.
Right?
My guess is a couple of days, but I am not familiar with the region.
Just make sure we have our water skins filled. Might be a good idea.
Yes, water would be important in the desert, I imagine. You will have some time to gather some supplies from the collective if you feel the need for anything in particular. Please just speak with Ellery and he will make sure that you're properly outfitted with anything that you request and within that we have available. And then from there, Gina will go ahead and escort you to the airships and you'll be on your way.
Yes, sounds good.
Wonderful. I'll leave you to it. He stands up, walks over past Gina, gives Rufus a few scritches, and will walk away from the table, leaving you with Gina, Rufus, and Ellery. Well, you do you guys need any supplies? I can get for you.
Probably something for the desert that would maybe help us, like maybe an extra long rope, maybe something that could fill more water in it.
Hey,
Something along those lines.
Probably rations as well, and stuff to protect against the possibility of sandstorms.
oh,
That sounds nasty.
what would you like for that? I'm not familiar with
Probably just some
what kind of
desert gear.
protection. Like clothing, tents.
I have eye protection, but these lovely people do not. Sand in the eyes, quite terrible.
Goggles and sand type clothing, like scarf thingies, right? I'm trying to remember what those are called.
Well, that'd be
Forgot.
nice.
But
Out of
yeah,
character, they're called shimgas.
shimmy. I forget what they're called.
I do too.
Chemise.
Something like that. So yeah, we'll get you some. I put Google on my paper.
You got two
I
into
don't-
character there?
Yep. We'll give you some Googles.
No, Google in this world is a magical tome that answers any question that you ask it.
It's very rare.
Let you
Very
finish your
sought
question before it comes up with
Google.
answers.
after. Desert gear.
But it doesn't fact check.
Nope.
So
Yeah, it doesn't do that.
It just goes with the first answer it finds.
Pulls up the first thing that someone
Yeah.
that it finds.
it's a
You
amount of
should
money.
should
Your answer
yeah.
will be at the top.
Ellery, I think for the gear, if it's kind of long things that are maybe a bit loose, light colors could be good. And also maybe some extra things for night, because I understand it can get really cold in the desert at night. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's what I've heard. So maybe some protections. And if we're going to be out overnight in the desert, as we go from where we land to the temple, maybe some tents or something like that, if that isn't provided otherwise.
Cheers.
And real comfy footwear.
Okay, like boots.
Yeah, something that'll be snake proof, I'm thinking, would be real good.
There's a snake in my boots.
You beat me
We
to
want
it.
the snakes on the outside of the boots, please.
Might help.
Someone's no water in hole.
All right.
Temple poison the water hole.
I'll have those items put together for you and packed ready on the ship. Is there anything else? Any other requests?
Like, it's like gonna be super hot and stuff. Like, you know, I like wear metal armor. Is there anything I can get to help make that not suck?
Wear it
Okay.
when you're traveling in the desert anyway. Sorry, I can't do that for you real quick, you know? That sounds like a lot of enchantments to make it cool.
Is
give
there
you
is there
some
any special
armor
kind?
instead, but it won't be as powerful as your plate.
All right.
Is there any kind of ammunition that you think might be useful in this situation that we could get for my widow?
Don't really know much about the situation, honestly. We're not really sure what you'd be facing.
Do you think you might have something that, like, when I would shoot it, it might have sort of a spray range, kind of like that it could maybe hit several targets at once?
We've got something. Usually it's for a different type of gun, though. What you got on you?
Well, I've got my 2 pistols, and I got my saber, and then I got the widow.
give you a shotgun. It's the only one that's gonna do that, though. The widow, she's precise. She doesn't like doing that kind of thing. She's precise and powerful.
Well, let's add a shotgun into the mix then, with some pellets and things that could spray if we be needing that.
Can be arranged. Essentially, it's gonna be like a sawed-off shotgun. It's gonna be like a short shotgun.
Crystal's walking into this thing like Thomas Jane's Punisher.
Yeah, she's loaded.
Oh my god.
She can only shoot one at a time, so she has to decide which gun she wants to use.
When one runs out, she drops and grabs another.
And I don't
Oh
know
god.
if mechanics
just-
like
Yeah, I'm
mechanics-
just not sure what we might encounter. I mean, I'm thinking like, if we run into something that's, say, multiple arachnids or something like the shotgun could be
No,
really
that was
handy.
a really
you know,
good
so-
call. I think that's something Crystal definitely would think of. So I don't know if D&D has. I'm pretty sure they've got like a shotgun equivalent.
They've got a
it's-
blunderbuss.
The blunderbuss is the generic one. I'm not familiar with all the new stuff in the arms guide, but I'm pretty sure they have like something that's a more modern style shotgun.
So
If
for
I
now,
remember
think
correctly,
so.
the blunderbuss does like an explosive radial damage on impact.
Yeah.
So
like
it's a
an
bit
AoE
different than a
is what I'm
shotgun, but
thinking.
it does have a splash damage effect.
it does have a splash damage. Okay. So we'll say that you get ammo for that, and that's what it does.
So we're gonna call it a blunderbuss with ammo.
Yeah.
And how
you-
many rounds?
So you will be given
If you ever find any pictures of dwarven artillerists, they're usually wielding blunderbusts.
gotcha.
I may have just the thing.
It's basically an elephant gun. It's just like a thick tube with a funnel at the end that just shoots out the front.
It loads 2 chambers at a time, I believe. I don't know. I'd have to look at the blunderbuss, but so 2 can be in the chamber, and then you receive. He's gonna put a bandolier so you can add some of your extra bullets that you have and carry it with you. But he's gonna give you basically 10 shells to use.
Thank you.
With my previous role on the history and whatnot, would I think that it's likely we might be facing undead in a long buried tomb?
Your exact roll again?
21.
21. That's right. It was the same other one. You've heard stories, myths about mummies coming back to life and stuff like that, but they've never been fully corroborated, or like you've heard of it, but it's more like legend.
Okay. I'm
You're
going to
not-
leave this up to...
There isn't really even a
Canon.
scientific study on mummies.
Yeah, I'm
Why
going to
not?
leave this... Going to leave this up to Chanson because he's heard about this stuff, but he's also a man of science. So, toss up whether or not he acts on this. So, DM, if you would, odds or evens.
Evens.
Okay. He will turn to Ellery.
Yes. I'm not sure if the rumors are true, but considering the area and the history and the mythos, I wonder if there's anything you have that might be good against the living impaired.
That's like me and stuff, because I can turn undead.
Yeah, we
Yes,
as
but
good as what Agent Twilight Princess can do, but I think I have a couple bottles of holy water. Might do something.
yes, just in case you find yourself incapacitated or somewhere else. Always good to have backup.
Uh, Here. And he hands you 2 bottles of holy water. You won't know what they do till you use them. Because you won't
Okay.
really know. And he also hands you an antidote to poison. So basically a potion that will act as an antidote to poison. So if someone is poisoned, they can drink that and it will cure the poison effect.
Is this something I could potentially recreate?
Is that a thing for your class?
I mean, I'm an I'm an
Oh,
artificer
yeah.
alchemist.
Yeah. You could probably study that and figure it out.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else? You guys are coming up with some good stuff.
Do you have anything for protection against anything for those curses if they are real? Just some extra protection of some sort?
Are really varied. So, no. Sorry.
What about the ring of protection? Can I have
Those
one of those?
Those are real expensive.
Can I afford it?
We actually don't have any in stock right now. One of our veteran agents is in possession of it at the moment on mission. We only got the one.
Of course.
Good try.
It's all
Good
right.
try.
I was
Good
like,
try.
I'm so weak. I'm so weak. Just a little something. A little
I
something.
did you not see my sadly ring of comfort as an uncommon item?
No, it's just like, we're going in somewhere dangerous, and I have an AC of 12.
I'm in danger.
Welcome to Wizard.
Sorcerer, just as
Sorcerer, same difference.
bad. Same difference.
Should really be going unless there's something else. I gotta get this stuff together.
No, I think that's it.
Bye. Be safe.
Thanks,
And
Ellery.
He'll walk off, kind of lingering, looking at Gina as he walks out of the room, as he always does.
And on a Heart's Day, the Heart's Moon Day. Come on, buddy. Make a move.
Longingly looking. Gina takes a book and it has to move Rufus. She sets him on the ground. He kind of wanders around and sniffs each of you.
He gets puppy scritches.
And Gina puts a book on the table. All right. This is the only one I could find. And I had to beat up a guy to get it. But this is a book on ancient Shaharan. Hieroglyphics. I suggest at least one of you read this shit and figure it out because it could be useful.
I was the book nerd before you, asshole. Back off. This is my shtick. This is my shtick. Your science, I'm reading. You back off.
Guess one of the nerds is gonna take it.
I mean, both of them you can try reading it. You guys have a bit of a journey, so you'll be able to like take turns looking it over or looking over together. But she just shoves it in the middle of the table for now. Sorry, it's the only one I could get.
It'll work, thank you. Anything could help.
Yeah, it should.
Like when she puts it down, like she sees some of like the pages flip, and she's like, "It's a picture book."
You're just adorable. Yeah, their language is pretty much made of pictures, so it's very unusual.
I turn to Elwyn. I start talking to her.
My dear, I think it would be quite useful if I read the book first. See,
And as I'm talking, my mask is crawling across the table towards the book to grab the book.
I will punch you in the face.
I will pay money to see that.
That's okay. Wisteria will just pickpocket him and get the book back.
It's
Good
fine.
luck.
There's plenty of time to read it on the way there. I'm quite the speed reader anyway. You don't have to have your mask just creepy crawl over to the book. You can just take it for now. You bastard.
All right. And then you guys are all escorted over to the to some carriages where then you're taken to the airship yard. You board the airship, which this vessel is not a zeppelin, much to your guys' relief. So you have a little bit maybe of hesitation over zeppelins right now, I imagine.
Before we leave, though, I want to go ahead and just pull Gina aside really quick.
Yeah, we'll just do that. So
Okay.
she starts kind of escorting you out. You pull her aside. Agent Drag.
Hello, I was trying to go to the festival with Wisteria earlier today, and it turns out we won't be able to go anymore. But I have these 2 tickets that I don't want to go to waste. I think Ellery really wants to go, if you 2 want to go and just kind of have a day to relax. It is a fun festival after all, from what I heard.
Right. You think he'd want to go? He seems like always just more focused on his shit in there. Usually not get him outside, you know?
Oh, trust me, if you ask him, he'll go.
You think?
I know.
Give
Give it a shot. You never know. But I know.
What the hell?
He'll go.
Could use a break. They got really good. They dip everything in chocolate on a Heart Moon stage. You know that? Everything.
That's what I heard. But yeah, I've never been. I heard about it though. Maybe next year.
Yeah, maybe next year. Sorry about all this. I heard Acastus
It's all
saying
right.
that he's really bad about it. I think he's gonna try to organize some vacation or something for you guys when you guys get back. So
That'll be nice. Yeah.
yeah,
It's all right. There's always next year, but again, don't want them to go to waste. So have some fun, some R&R with Ellery, and enjoy the festival.
not. All right, thanks.
Mhm.
And she'll head off. Ellery.
If I can't go on a dig, by God, someone else will.
It's a good use of those tickets.
You hear some mumbled talking, and then something large and made of glass just shattering on the floor.
I think he said
And
yes.
goat stuttering.
Just like, "Meh."
I'm
Like
sorry.
the record got stuck.
Is he a screaming and fainting goat? Because that would just be awesome.
That's why you heard the shattered glass. He was just like,
Pass the fuck out.
just overload. Ellery overload.
Yep, definitely. So we'll see what happens from that. That was tricky Elowen.
Wisteria
Alright.
approves.
Isn't anything else?
that was it. I just wanted to do that.
Got it. So you guys make it to the ship. Is there anything that you guys would like to do while you're on the ship besides the reading? I imagine you're going to be reading.
Oh, I certainly now.
Sorry?
I said, "Oh, I certainly am now."
Okay. I want to start with you really quick. Give me a what did I set this? Hold on, let me look at my okay. So each of you kind of has different bonuses and stuff. I'm gonna just rub it in on Weirds again, but he would have gotten advantage plus his proficiency bonus on his intelligence for this roll because Luxodon has the language of the Luxodons has a basis in ancient Belsharen, like a Latin
Damn
root.
it!
So it would have been
Weird.
easier for him to learn this.
We'll keep the book on us when he comes back. We'll be like, hey, I couldn't understand this part.
Yeah. So the good news is if he can join us next game, he probably will be able to translate too. But for Dr. E, you because of all the multiple languages that you already know, and because of your keen mind feat, you also get to roll with advantage, and you get to add your proficiency bonus to a straight intelligence roll for this. So this will be the first of a couple of
So
rolls.
+6 with advantage. Natural 20 for a 26.
Okay, I was gonna say you're gonna need like I was gonna do 3 rolls 3 times if you're just reading this, but I'm gonna consider that 2 successes.
Okay. So
And
another one.
since you're so good at it. The third one will wait because that's all you have time to read right now. On the ship's time. And Elowen, don't worry, you'll have a moment to look at it too if you want. Do you want to look over his shoulder and try reading it at the same time?
We
If
could read it
If
together.
Shadow doesn't
Read
come
it
back
together.
after the
Yes,
break, we all know
I
why.
would.
Okay.
So I'm just
So
like, this is my shtick. How dare you?
so
yeah.
for you, it is unfortunately just a straight roll.
No. Hold on real quick though. Because I think I have comprehend languages.
If you have comprehend languages, that's a different story.
How the fuck do I not have comprehend languages?
You don't? Wow.
All right, so give me that read. So just a straight intelligence roll. for
All right,
you.
hold on.
Hmm.
Oh, it's only self.
Yep.
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I have comprehend languages, but I can only cast it on myself. It doesn't have a target of other.
Oh no, yeah, it's self only.
So
Still rolled high. That's at least something. You said it was just straight up intelligence, right?
Yeah, just straight up intelligence for you.
Okay, dirty 20. Wasn't a nat 20, but it's a dirty 20.
That's great. Yeah, so it's 1 success of the 3 to translate.
No one have comprehend
Basically,
languages. I'm kicking myself.
This is your the way the mechanics of this is basically to see if you guys are successful in this short amount of time to learn enough to attempt to translate while you're there. So you'll
Okay.
still have to
So-
roll. You won't automatically be able to read everything when you get there, but this allows you even the opportunity to try. Otherwise, everyone else is it's just pictures.
Okay.
So, if you would, if you allow,
Mhm.
since I rolled so well, can I be like pointing things out in a way to aid her reading?
Um,
I mean, Dr. E does have a tendency to mumble everything as he does stuff.
I'm gonna say no. This is
Okay.
more of an individual thing. The mechanics I have set up this way for a reason. So
Okay, that's
I'm
fair.
gonna say no. However, when you're there, if you, I imagine you're gonna probably successfully be able to earn the chance to translate. You, if there's somebody else and you're both translating, you'll be able to help each other then. But
Okay.
if there's 2 of you that basically earn this first step, but you have to earn this first step. Does anyone else want to attempt to read it? So, I mean, some of you can be like,
Does it take away from their time to read it?
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to take away. The
Okay.
people who have the best chance to read, I don't want to take away from their time to read.
Yeah.
all right, that's fair. So you guys, what are the rest of you doing on the ship while you travel over? And it's a pretty beautiful day. You guys are currently kind of traveling over the ocean. The crew of the ship are meandering about, fixing the sails. It's basically like a sailing ship, but it's being lifted and carried by arcane crystals that are in the ship's engine area. And so, but it has these billowing sails that go up and kind of help guide and steer the ship. So yeah, airship, classic airship, like Eberron type styled airship.
Is there a
How
galley?
long is the ride?
It's gonna be about 8 hours or so.
So, I and because um I think Gilly's gonna do the same thing. Kieran is going to go find whoever is the chef and basically have them in her prayer book jot down the recipes for traditional Hearts Day recipes. And if they have anything that is gonna be like for it, I mean, because I mean it's mostly like chocolate and fruit. But I mean, there's real food in there too. And then she's gonna go in the mess, and then just as observance, she's going to at least do prayer services specifically for that day.
Great. We can say that you mentioned that to Ellery on the way out, and so he made sure that there was a supply of chocolate and fruits that were chocolate dipped fruits and stuff like that that were supplied on the ship, and you were able to instruct the cook on a meal that is fairly simple, but is, let's see, that would be commonly like fed on that day. And then for dessert, you guys have these chocolate dipped fruits that are commonly eaten on the day. And then you do have a moment to do your prayers and stuff. Usually you would want to wait until it gets a little bit darker for a lot of your stuff, but this is different because it's a full day celebration and the moons are visible all day and all night. So that is definitely doable. You're doing kind of more of the special type of prayers and celebrations for it, right?
Yep.
And at night you'll probably have something else. But you'll be in the city, the main city at that point. So the rest of you, what are you guys doing? What's Wisteria doing during this time?
Let's go try and find some strawberries and chocolate and make Elwyn a strawberries and chocolate since she never had the dipped chocolate.
Well, that's easy to find if you want to get her a snack of it before dinner or before dessert.
Yeah, because she probably doesn't realize why it's all there. Like, she doesn't put two and two together. She's just like,
Captain's secret stash, and I'm gonna take it for Elwyn.
Yeah, she's more digging through, like, I feel like she waits for the Twilight Princess to go in, and then, like, just rummages through stuff and starts taking stuff without anyone knowing. Like, oh yes, I found chocolate.
Oh no.
Some syrup, and she doesn't take everything, but she takes enough to make a little platter of chocolate dipped strawberries. Back to her cabin.
So yeah, Elwyn, when you take a break from reading and stuff, you head over to your cabin and you see Wisteria. What are you doing? How are you posed? Are you like posed on the bed with the chocolate?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. She just has the chocolate covering her nipples and she's just like, hello.
Wow.
Well, I wouldn't put her past her. She's not quite that unprofessional right now. Look, she has a lot of confidence, okay? But, she probably left them... She probably is on the bed, and she probably has them sitting next to her, but she's also probably putting holes in the, canopy as she tosses a dagger up, unsure where the one's getting back. She's just sitting there, dagger tossing at the ceiling, bed.
Mama's working late.
And like, you just bang the wall of the cabin and the daggers fall back down.
Yup. Keep going.
You catch them. Then
Yeah, she's playing daggers.
yeah, Ella, when you walk into to that scene, how do you want to react to that?
Are you alright, love?
It's a little bored. I was waiting for you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the book alongside the doctor, so I'm sorry. I got caught up in it.
That's all right.
Are you
Mission
all right?
case first. Perfectly fine. I was just bringing you a snack. She mentions
Is this?
nonchalantly.
What is this?
Well, and she fishes out of her back pocket the list that you were carrying on you that she took. I noticed you were planning a bit. And,
Of course you found that. Yep.
Sorry, my curiosity got the better of me. But
Of course.
I didn't want you to miss out on everything, so I made you a snack.
Is this those chocolates that everyone just dips fruit into?
It is. Yeah,
didn't
I only
realize they
grabbed
had 'em on the
strawberries,
ship.
but maybe they did. I'm not sure why, but maybe they were planning something else. I don't know.
Strawberries are my favorite, so let's give it a try.
Here you are.
We'll
And
go
she
ahead
tried to
and
make them
just
look nice, but I don't know how successful she was. She's not a cook.
I'll go ahead and I'll have some, and you just see her eyes just like get wide, and she's like, "This is delicious. Wow, this is really good."
This is why everyone raves about them.
It might be a bit better too, since it's chocolate dipped fruit as opposed to, what did Archaeologist say? Deep fried. Everything's deep fried.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
so-
it's good, but man, does it get a little heavy, a little fast.
I can imagine. I mean, I was really looking forward to going with you if we were able to, but obviously we weren't allowed to
Then
go
next year.
because of this. But I'd like to go next year. That's what the list was for, of course. But yeah, let's. Hopefully, it's not the only festival that they have there, and we can go to another one later.
You can go to all the festivals you want.
It's a date. And she'll go ahead and she'll shove a chocolate strawberry in her mouth.
She will eat that up.
So while they're
Fade to
having
black.
that private moment, what's Crystal doing on the ship?
Well, since Charles isn't there, I had, contemplated maybe brushing up on my chess game, but that's not going to be a possibility. So,
Dig it in here and dig it in.
given everything, I think she would certainly spend some time looking at the weapons that Ellery had provided and making sure she understood how it all functioned. And then I suspect she might, if she was allowed, go around the ship and see if there are any armaments or anything on the ship. Does it have defenses? And, see if there's like an engineer or somebody like that she could talk to about how the ship is, defended, or just, in case. And what its capabilities are, that sort of thing.
The crew is pretty open to you guys exploring any part of the ship you really want to. The only area they're really hesitant about, they'll let you look in there, but they're very hesitant about anyone getting near the control crystal in the engineer room because it's pivotal to keeping the ship afloat. So they don't want anything happening near the control crystal. But besides that, they're pretty comfortable with you asking questions and they answer them. As far as you know, the ship does have a few defensive capabilities. There's a couple of cannons that are located on both sides of the ship. And the engineer actually discusses how amazingly maneuverable the vessel is. It's actually a smaller vessel. It's not one of the more larger tourist vessels. This one was privately commissioned by the Chimera Collective to get you where you're going faster. So it is a smaller, speedier vessel with a very powerful control crystal. And the control crystal can essentially drop you guys straight down dramatically fast if they needed to. Going up takes a little bit longer, and then kind of banking and things like that. He describes the capabilities and the maneuverabilities of the ship, and it takes years of practice and years of study in order to be able to manipulate the ship in the way to maneuver it well. But this is a very skilled team. So that's why they're often commissioned by the collective, because they're very good at what they do. Very expensive.
Grain Crackers,
but
thank you so much for that raid. Our bot, unfortunately, it's not working right now, but I see you coming in. Thank you so much, Raiders. Welcome
thank you,
on in.
Raiders. Welcome to Chimera Collective, Tomb of the Cursed. Valentine's Day special, only this Valentine's in this world is what did I just call it? Heart's Moon's it's Heart Day. Heart Moon's Day.
Heart Moon's Day.
Heart Moon's Day. um but yeah, it's pretty easy for you to get that information. It's very fascinating for you. So you get kind of a basic knowledge of the ship's capabilities and where the gunneries are on the ship. So I feel pretty confident that this ship could get out of a scrape pretty fast. It's mainly meant to get away than to stand and fight. But
I think she also, remembering the other ship, the dirigible, she would be kind of, trying to compare how that was set up compared to this, and just kind of get a feel for differences and similarities and so on.
yeah,
And especially like in terms of like the engineering part and the weapon systems and that sort of thing, just to get a feel for that.
gotcha. Yeah. And
And
the dirigible didn't really have any weapons on it, but it had the claws.
and as an aside, when they all met back at the collective office, people might have noticed that Crystal looked like she might have been getting ready to do something that day. She's got a different outfit on, the red and white one that's in the picture there. Kind of a nicer quality, a little fussier than what she usually wears. But now that they're underway, she has that outfit is gone, and she's in the sort of the desert attire already that they will be wearing. She's
Yeah.
obviously tucked that away.
Yeah, each of you find a pack in your cabins that Ellery packed up some clothing in your sizes and your style preferences that you guys gave him. So lots of like duster coats and scarves that go over your faces, goggles. You can put scarves on your hair and stuff if you want to keep your hair back. Desert gear, essentially, what you would picture in like Lawrence of Arabia or in The Mummy or any of those movies, like in a desert.
I
gear.
think
So-
Elowen
so-
will forego her heeled boots because of desert and tombs, so she will wear flats
You're so much shorter now.
with a little heel, little heel.
Kieran is right there with you. She's like, she's like, this feels weird.
Heels make way too much noise. Please.
So, with that, we're gonna go ahead and take, because I never remember when we're supposed to take breaks, so I'm just gonna take a break now.
Whatever you
So we'll
want.
take our first break is 9 o'clock here. Sorry, guys. We got really into things. Time goes by so fast. I can't believe it's 9 o'clock. Oh my god, we are so. This is gonna be like 4 sessions.
It's gonna be 4 sessions, guys.
'Cause I was great.
I called it in
I don't wanna
Discord.
Stop that.
This is going to be 6.
Oh
6
Jesus!
sessions.
However long it has to be.
Till we want to finish it, god damn it.
We're gonna go to break, and when we come back, they're gonna arrive in the desert city in Al-Sharai Desert and meet up with their contact Leaf in the river. So stay tuned. We'll be back.
And we are back.
I'd like to welcome Raiders from God Mode. Thank you so much for joining us.
Welcome, welcome.
So we're back. So you guys travel on the ship. You're there. You have a good meal with the ship's crew and with each other. And you have lots more of this delicious chocolate-covered fruit in honor of Heart's Moon Day. And then you guys arrive safely, uneventfully, thankfully. Maybe in the future I'll do something fun with the ship, though. We'll do something interesting. But you arrive safely in the main city in the in the Al-Sharai Desert, and you see as you guys are descending to the platform where the ship is going to land, you see the city is alight with festival lights, and you can hear music coming as you guys come in for a landing. Music just sounding throughout the area. Everything is just lively and alive for the festival. So you gather you get the sense that they celebrate Heart's Moon's Day here in the Al-Sharai Desert as well. And I'm gonna switch.
Good, we can make a pit stop.
What's that?
The missions, there's no urgency on the mission, right? We could just take a day.
Take a day. Yeah, we're just gonna hang out. Nope, is that what I want? Yeah, I think that's what I want. We'll see.
Kieran starts subconsciously dancing when she hears the music.
Why is that not the music that I want? I had music for this, and everything was
That
all
always
organized,
happens.
and now it's all like, nah, we're not gonna do what you wanted to do. The thing you wanted to do, nah.
Yep,
All right.
every time.
We'll do that one.
This is my vibe.
I do that.
Makes me wish I
again.
was Egyptian and not Irish over here.
Nope, eats it out. That is so weird. There. Okay, I'm
Is it
gonna let
being
it.
a butt?
It is. It was there when I was looking at it before, and now the thing I'm looking for ain't there.
Yeah.
Rude.
The
Yeah,
library is weird.
ridiculous. So you guys arrive in the city, and you are greeted on the ship's platform by a tabaxi. If you go to roll 20, I'll go ahead and show you like what she looks like.
Ooh,
But-
she's pretty.
Oh.
And she introduces herself to you guys as you disembark, and she kind of bows her head and holds her hands in front of her and greets you. Just, hello, agents of Chimera Collective, correct?
That is us.
I am Leaf in the River. You may call me River for short.
I will give her a bow.
And you guys notice that she has a symbol of Anubis. I didn't have it on Hero Forge for her picture, but she has a symbol of Anubis on her, an amulet on her neck. Come with me. I will take you to where you will be staying for the evening. And we can discuss the mission from there.
Thank you.
So she escorts you all to essentially it's a hotel. And you walk in and it has like fountains along the outside, and there's a lot of people kind of gathered, and there are carts, and there are tents set up serving all kinds of food and things like that, and musicians on every corner. The hotel itself has a room, a bar that is open and packed full of people, and she kind of leads you past all these things. There's lights kind of hanging everywhere, torches, sconces lit. Everything's lit up and alive, and she leads you guys over to like a meeting hall room, and she kind of closes the door, the double doors behind her, that muffles the sound of the revelry outside a little bit. And she motions for y'all to have a seat, and one of the hotel attendants comes in and pours a glass of some sort of liquid into a cup, like a metal cup for each of you. And if you sniff it, it smells like a very strong alcohol, but you have a hard
I
time
was gonna
placing
say, I was gonna say, can I smell, see if I smell any alcohol? Ooh, there it is.
It's very strong alcohol.
Wait, I'm
And
Irish. This is fine.
she takes her cup and takes a long sip of it, and kind of looks over each of you and says, "And I'm sorry, I was not given the information on your names. What are your agents' names?"
I am Agent Dryad. Pleasure to meet you.
"Pleased to meet you.
It'd be Agent Finayure.
Funayure. Pleasure."
Yes, Agent Ubiquitous, at your service.
She kind of looks at you a little longer. Do you have the mask on right now?
Oh yeah.
She actually is gonna stand up and walk over to you, and her tail is kind of like twitching curiously. And she kind of takes a clawed hand and puts it like on your mask. "Interesting. Ubiquitous, you say?
Yes.
You are intriguing." And then she'll go ahead and go back to her seat and have a drink, still keeping her eyes on you um, for a moment longer, and then continues on and looks over at Kieran, waiting for an introduction. "And you are Agent..."
They call me Twilight Princess.
"Beautiful. I see symbols of Salune on you. Are
And
you one of her people?"
yes. And she will give whatever like cloistered response is to someone who's acknowledging that they're a Slumite.
She nods reverently. "I am of Anubis."
Now, now, which can I make a religion check for Anubis, even though I can't do, even though I failed the history check?
Sure. You want to go ahead and give me a religion check?
That would be
Since she seems to be associating it in that context.
let's see.
May I do one as well?
Certainly.
This one's a +1 instead of a -1. So I might get a 2. 17.
17? Okay. And what did Ubiquitous get?
19.
19. Okay. So you both know this. You both know that Anubis is one of the main gods in the Egyptian pantheon, or the Shaharai Desert pantheon, Shaharan Desert. Sorry, it's Shaharai Desert, but Shaharan people. So in the Shaharan pantheon. So I get stumbled on my own words in the own country that I made.
It happens.
So you know that he is associated with, like, he's the god of judgment, of scales, associated with death and the afterlife pretty heavily, but not necessarily like an evil god or anything like that. They don't really have necessarily like evil
So
deities.
she would equate him to more like Kellenvor
I think maybe
than like
I know
Merkel.
about him, but
Like Merkel's an evil god of death. Kellenvor is like, he's like the guy who like ferries you across river Styx. He's just like, oh, you're dead. All right, come on.
Kind of like Raven Queen. Like he wants
Yeah.
the balance of life and death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's an Anubian priestess, cleric of Anubis.
She'll bow back respectfully.
And she will look on over to Wisteria and be like, "And you, Agent.
Yuri?
Oh, that's right.
Been over
We were
this.
introduced.
It's okay, you got distracted.
Siva hasn't
Happens to the
introduced
best
her
of us.
character yet.
We should look over to Crystal then and be like, and you are?
And Crystal would stand up and bow respectively and say, I'm Agent Cyclops.
Cyclops. I see you are well armed.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my special thing that I do.
It is good. You will need all of your strengths for the journey ahead. We are going through dangerous lands and an even more dangerous destination. I'm available to answer any questions you might have for the mission ahead. I will be escorting us to the ruins of Makaran and the temple palace that has been excavated there. I can show you the way.
I was curious about the myths around these ruins, and if you know approximate age or any guess from when they came from.
Thousands of years old, uncounted years. Lost city. We've heard stories, myths, but not many survive. And it is mixed tales. But there are a few commonalities that I can tell you. It was a land that was ruled, as I need to fix my music because it turned off on me. There we go. It was a land that was ruled by a pharaoh king and his queen. Let me get to their names so I don't mess them up.
Fair.
Of the characters that I created again.
Hey, you've created an entire world, so it's understandable if you can't keep everything completely straight.
Yeah, thank you. So, Pharaoh King, the name, I believe the archaeologist mentioned Kabara. Khaba-RA. He was Leonin king. Very powerful in the land, and his Leonin queen, her name is a namesake of the city. She was known as Makara Sati, which is Makara-SATI.
I'm gonna get all
together
this stuff.
These spellings, though.
No,
I am
I love
These
nailing
spellings,
this.
though.
I am nailing this. I am so happy.
They ruled for many years, from what I understand. They were beloved by the people, but other tales spoke of a tyrant in the king. Mixed tales. Some of the nearby cities speak of being conquered at one time, but most of the tales, the most common commonalities of the great love story between the two, between Kabara and his queen, Makarasati. Together they were very powerful, and their love was very strong and is spoken of reverently in the tales that survived. But honestly, many of us in the region thought these to be just that, tales. A story of some fantasy king and queen that lived in ancient times, that were powerful, that were beloved. But now we hear that we find evidence that the city actually existed. It is an unprecedented discovery. And so great funding was given to the archaeologist and his team. This could be a beacon for the land, you see. Predominantly, we survive on tourism. Can you imagine what would be brought by a lost city? A lost palace? So, funding was not difficult for him. But since then, these disasters all around the land, I'm surprised the city is so vibrant as it is today. We were hit by a giant sandstorm not 3 days past. But our city is resilient, and you try telling people not to celebrate the festival.
And what kind of these love story tales do they speak of that seem to be so popular from your culture?
It's not much has survived, honestly. Not much is known. We know that the queen was said to have magic ability, that she would heal the sick, that she was an immeasurable beauty, that she had some sort of sway over animals, and that the king was powerful, and that he was from a long line of kings, and that his land was prosperous, and that he was lonely, sought a wife, and found her one day. She was not of any noble house, any group that they were known. She was spoken of almost like someone who just wandered from the desert in these romantic tales, you know? He
Perhaps
finds her
she
on the
charmed
way
him.
one day, these kind of things.
It sounds like maybe she charmed him. Maybe.
Hard to tell. These are just stories. Well, I guess not exactly just stories now, but there aren't any historical accounts. Not yet. That's what the archaeologists were hoping to uncover. It was more truth of the tales. So hopefully they can find something else. But very limited information right now. Perhaps you will be able to determine more when you are within the ruins themselves. It is common in this area for, especially during that time, for stories of achievements of their lives to be depicted in the stone.
What do your stories say about what happened to the kingdom, or at least this couple?
There was some great disaster. The city was lost, buried.
It doesn't say what kind of disaster, as far as like a curse or an eruption of some sort.
No. Though the lands are said to be cursed by some groups, others do not
Yes.
believe such things.
About these so-called curses, we heard about the rivers running red and crops dying. Are there any others?
The sandstorms that I mentioned, recently locusts, unusual numbers, in a time of year that we do not expect them.
I see, yes, very troubling indeed. And this all does, in fact, coincide with the discovery of this lost city.
Yes, the strange occurrences began shortly after we received reports of the archaeologist's discovery.
And how long ago was that?
A few weeks.
A few weeks.
But the greater number of occurrences, they started out slow but have increased in number recently, which is why I was permitted to reach out to the collective for help.
Are there any stories in your histories or your mythologies about such curses occurring in the past?
Yes, but not all at once. And separated tales, not related to that area. Not that I
Still,
know.
were there triggering events in these stories that coincided with these curses?
Religious.
More importantly, were there things that resolved the issue?
the tales, I mean, natural occurrences happen. There are times when locusts swarm, but they are predictable and not very troublesome, quite tasty. Um, but unusual in these numbers and during this time of year. The river running red, we've determined to be a matter of a sort of organism, a creature in the river that um, has this unusual spawning cycle and it creates a reddish color. But this was not like that. But there are tales in the past, and these are just stories you see about such and such angering some god and the god punishing the city in these ways. So there are two different tales. I can tell you the truth of some of these occurrences as they happen. Sandstorms happen, but not in this frequency and not associated with these other things. In the tales, great sandstorms would occur when, again, you anger a god or a great being, and you have to appease them. So I guess that would be a commonality.
What is
I
this
see.
creature that creates this liquid that makes it turn red?
You say, how do you say? She looks over at Agent Ubiquitous. Tiny, tiny. So tiny. Cannot see with eyes. How do...
Bacteria,
Maybe?
microscopic.
That's word, yes. Recent sciences have discovered this creature. Comes in the river. Normally we don't see, but when it has this weird spawning thing, it turns the water. I'm not a scientist, so I don't understand the particulars, but it was explained to me once.
Do I happen to know the particulars of this?
That would sound familiar to you. You're aware of something in the oceans that are called the red tide, that involves some microscopic organism of the sea that makes the ocean appear to have a reddish coloring. So you would assume this is maybe something kind of similar, but a river-bound creature.
Sounds like the glowing algae in the Puget Sound area of Washington.
Yeah. So it's a sort of organism that, when agitated or during certain times of its cycle, it will give off a coloration or glow.
More interested in this king and queen. What were they known for? What was the city known for in its time?
I have said all I know. You will have hopefully be able to discover more in the writings in the ruins. Again, this is what the archaeologist was hoping to learn, was more. There's very little about this city. Again, we thought it was myth. I'm sorry, I wish I could be more help. Sorry.
No need to be sorry. You know what you know.
Yes.
Every little bit
not
helps.
Apologize.
We appreciate even the base information, because that's more than we knew.
Of course. The journey across the desert will take a day, and we will camp. And then we will be able to travel a little bit further, about half the day the next day, and we should arrive in the temple around that time. So, unless we are stopped or something delays us, only a couple days journey till we get there. Do you have enough supplies, or should I arrange for some things to be brought?
Do we have enough supplies?
Ellery packed you guys pretty full for rations
Okay.
and water for several days. Probably about a week's worth.
Oh, nice.
Are we going to be traveling by foot, or are there some kind of animals that we're going to be taking?
Yes, we will be riding via camel.
Alright. That'll be a new experience.
Can I, contemplating on doing this, Can I do detect thoughts on her?
Sure. What's the
And
save?
There is no save unless I push further. This is just for surface thoughts for right now.
All right.
That's always a freebie for me, at least.
Sure. So, surface thoughts, you're gathering that she has concern over the journey as there's been reports of some caravans being attacked recently. But she doesn't want you guys to worry too much right now about it. She wants you to stay focused on the mission. And you also sense an interest in Agent Ubiquitous. She's very curious about him.
It's just because I have a shiny thing on my face and she's a cat.
Well,
Look, she hasn't looked it up
brave
yet.
cleric fascinated with
half
things
of us
that
are wearing
dark.
jewelry, and she's not going ooh shiny. So,
She has
you
reason.
know. Oh god, let me see here. Let me see here. Hold on.
In the shape of many Anubian masks.
Ah.
Anything else?
No, I won't do it right now. I want to probe deeper, but it's a little vague. It says that they know that you are probing, but it's kind of like, well, does she know that I'm doing that? Does she sense it's from me?
Should you be aware?
Or she's just aware.
If she succeeded her save.
Oh, are you probing deeper?
Because it says if they succeed, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you are probing into its mind.
Yeah.
Unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts.
But that's not for the surface thoughts, it's not, right?
No, that's just for me to probe deeper, but I'm contemplating on probing deeper because I don't want her to know that it's me.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know someone who pretty much keeps their mind open to you if you want to hop people.
That's true. I could if she saved, I'll just be like, Mysteria, what's up? And then she won't know.
Oh, hello.
Do that. Can you do that?
I can't. It does
It
say
does,
that they
you
know
just
it
read
comes
it.
from you. It says if they know it comes from you unless you shift your thoughts into some other creature's mind.
Okay.
Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Yeah. Wisdom
Do
saving throw.
it.
And I have Wisteria on standby.
Okay, so you probe deeper into her mind.
Yeah, I want to know why she's so curious about the doctor.
You're curious why she's curious?
I
pretty much-
am, yeah. It kind of like, it caught Ellen's attention, like, even before she went up and tapped him, she was like,
She is curious because she hasn't seen anyone like him, and she is fascinated with the mask, and she thinks it reminds her of Anubis because of the pointed like snout-like area. And she's seeing that as maybe a sign she should get to know this person more. And she can't really tell why, but she's just fascinated and wants to learn more about this strange creature.
so it doesn't, I don't even know if this is like part of your world. I'm just assuming. So it's Anubis, not Thoth, that she's interested in. Okay. I assume she failed.
What did you say? That it's Anubis, not what?
Not Thoth. The he's the bird with the he almost looks like a crane. The scribe
yeah.
god.
No, she doesn't associate him with that right now.
Okay. Just because it was bird-like, so that's why I was thinking, like, is it something with that or something else entirely? So, okay.
She basically is coloring it the way she wants to because she's curious about him. So you gather a very strong interest, and you also pick up that she's extremely nervous about the ruins. She thinks they're very dangerous, and she does not want to go into them, and that she thinks
Don't
it is
blame her.
she is worried because no one else has come out alive from there, and she is convinced it is a cursed land. So she believes in the tales that it is cursed.
Okay. I mean, Elwyn has concerns. Like, why are they sending us in if no one's returned? Like, this sounds suicidal. Just, what the fuck, guys?
That's what the collective does. You're the ones that send when no one else can go.
Alright.
We are new, so we get the shit jobs.
So we so after that I'll go ahead and I'll stop, satisfied that it's not something that I'm like, oh, I gotta look after my friend. Okay. And I'm just sitting there, just watching. Yeah, I won't say anything. I'll just keep nodding,
so-
interested in her story.
I was supposed to do. Oh, I didn't even roll.
Oh, I thought you
But-
did. That's why I was like, oh, she failed. And I
I
will
just
switch
didn't
my
get
attention
for it.
afterwards to Wisteria. That way she doesn't know that I was probing her.
That's how it works.
That is how it works.
I mean, the downside to that is you risk someone else knowing that they were probing into your head.
Yeah,
She
that's
just
the
doesn't
risk.
care.
Is that someone knows, they just don't know it's coming from me after that, but they know.
Broken.
And I'm just
Like, I'm stressed about that ruling on that spell. I am very sad. The fact that you could just switch over to anyone.
That's what it
I've never
says.
seen that done in any other D&D game. Usually people know.
It says they know
know
you're
that-
probing into its mind unless you shift your attention to another creature.
Yeah, before
That's
you
what-
actually read into their mind, though, right?
That's no. If they succeed, well, it says it doesn't matter if they succeed or fail. They know
Yeah.
someone was probing into their mind. They know that you were probing into their mind unless you shift your attention to another creature.
So she
And
probably
read
felt
their
something
thoughts.
in her mind
So,
and then
she
couldn't
felt something in her
pinpoint the
mind.
source.
So
She
DM
just
to
won't know where
DM.
it's from.
Thorough, DM to DM. Does that sound like a legit thing?
There are shit spells in
Yeah.
it's
That
like they're
Really dumb to just be able to switch
oh
to your group.
no,
mind.
you like no, like
You're not
Watsy has
wrong.
some Watsy has some dumbass spells. Take a look at the new one from freaking Strixhaven, that silver whatever the fuck it is. That dumb piece of shit spell. You can steal advantage from somebody else and give it to somebody else.
Oh shit.
Well,
Yeah.
the-
Yeah,
it's-
that's fucked up.
The problem is you can do that anytime without consequence.
Well, the thing is, it's DM's discretion. So usually, this is just me, but I'm kind of evil. You know, I give the person a chance to actually see if they can figure out what happened, because the thing is, the spell, based on what it is, if it's verbal or somatic, it's basically, were they good enough at hiding the fact that they're the one that did the Hubaju? Because every spell has something that you need to do to set it off, either verbal,
Almost depends on
somatic,
what's going on
something.
with this, But
Yeah, I know. Like I said,
I'm
it's up
thinking
to you
Zoro,
for
this
stuff
is
like
like
that.
a real shitty spell.
The downside to the spell too is you usually don't have party members that will welcome you into their mind too.
Yeah.
So you don't
That's
usually have
also
someone you
true.
can switch to and get a deep probe into their mind that aren't going to go, "Hey, what the fuck?"
I mean, I feel like most party members. Anyway, we're not going to talk about this. I'm just going to say, fine. She doesn't know for now.
Okay.
I'm going to make
Well,
a
did she
ruling on your
succeed or
fucking
did she
phone.
not? What'd she roll? What did she roll at least?
An 11.
Okay, well she failed, so
All right.
either way. Yay me.
Yeah. So, anyway, that happens.
Yep.
So, she waits to see if you guys have any other questions.
I can't think of anything else that's off the top of my head.
A good place to grab dinner before we sleep for the night. So it's evening, right?
Yeah, it's evening.
Ah.
You have a couple of hours before you should probably get some rest. We are going to be leaving very early, first dawn. So make sure that you get your rest. But the rest of the evening is yours to do with what you want. Feel free to enjoy some of the festivities nearby. Don't go too far. It's very easy for foreigners to get lost in our city. But there's plenty nearby.
Any recommendations?
Oh, the cart vendors are the best. The ones that look the shadiest have the most delicious food.
True
Good to
now.
know.
As somebody who was born in New York City, I can attest to that. The shadier the food stand, the better the food is. 100%
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Edelwin, if you have no more questions, would you like to join me?
I would love to.
She's going to take Edelwin down to the festival area and try and hit as many things on Edelwin's list as she can. In that time period
Just have a quick
provided.
evening.
There are many different kinds of languages going on, many that sound very Arabic influenced. And then there's like the languages of the Loxodons that are speaking, and many of the other beast languages have their own tongues. And so it's like you're not really hearing too much common, so it takes you a little bit, but you can find some individuals that can understand your hand gestures and money. Like
So
Yeah.
Kieran, other than common, Kieran knows celestial, Jotun, and primordial.
none of that
So
is
she's
spoken.
she doesn't know. But she's gonna walk around and see if she hears anyone talking anything that she recognizes outside of common, and B, she's gonna see if she recognizes anything that is actually like a Selûnite, like prayer service or some sort of ritual or some sort of
Yeah, that
anything.
go ahead and give me a perception or investigation roll.
Okay. Oh, that is bad. That's a 10.
It's fine. It's not hard to find. There are little services being done all throughout the city to Selûne tonight. So, you see smaller, like, prayer circles around symbols of and small statuettes of Selûne, kind of scattered about. It doesn't take you too long to go down any one road to see a small grouping of people who are saying a prayer. You may not understand the language they're speaking, but you do understand, you hear the word Selûne, and you know at least her name in several different languages and recognize it when it's spoken, regardless of what it's understood. Your natural cleric
Cool.
sense, your connection to the goddess draws you towards those areas, and so you
So
can find groupings.
So she's gonna find one, and then she's going to do whatever the night service is, um,
Great.
for um, for the festival for this particular night.
And you start drawing a crowd, actually, because they see that you are knowledgeable and you actually are just perfectly kind of performing this ritual from your memory and stuff. Actually, let's see how well it does. Give me like a religion check
Alrighty.
or
I'll roll
performance. Low DC because of who you are, but
religion. It's gonna be a 13, sadly.
that's fine. It's a very solid performance, and you kind of guide the group through some songs in this it's like a slightly different, it's a celestial, so you guide them through the celestial chants to Selûne.
Oh, she knows celestial.
I thought you said you did. Yeah, you said you know celestial, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you use and that is the language of Selûne's people, like of the church itself. You know how, like, modern churches, it's like Latin is like that base, it's the same thing, only celestial is yours. And so you guide them through some celestial chants, and some of them know it because some of them actually do worship Selûne or know enough to join in. Others kind of pick it up and mumble their way through it, and you do the ritual of lighting candles and using kind of a holy light to make the statue glow, and there's a bit of a dance to it, and so you perform the dance and guide the others through the ceremonial dance, and it's a very beautiful moment between you and the little bit of a crowd that you've gathered there.
She'll be very happy.
So did Kieran sort of go off by herself?
I believe so, unless you want to say that you followed her.
Yeah.
Well, if Kieran has gone off by herself, I think I would turn to Dr. E and ask him if he intended to have something to eat, or did he want to spend the evening studying the book?
Well, I do need something to eat, but once I get that, I shall return to studies.
And River will hold out her arm and be like, I can show you a few places if you like.
Oh, yeah. Crystal, would you?
Oh, sorry, wait. Your agent name is
Cyclops.
Cyclops, right?
Yes, Agent Cyclops, will you do us the honor of joining us?
Her tail twitches a little in irritation.
Okay, what would I have to roll to see if I'm astute enough to catch the body language there?
Insight.
Yeah.
Because Dr. E, oblivious.
Yep.
River's
Okay.
fine.
So, insight. Oh,
Insight.
right. 13.
Yeah, you pick up that she's a little irritated by that idea, but you're not like you kind of are gathering, oh yeah, today is about like couples and stuff, and she seems to be pretty interested. Like, you're kind of picking up what she's putting down. But she looks at you and says, yes, that would be lovely.
That
Go away.
little pause right just before the lovely is what sells.
Well, maybe this would be a chance for you and Agent Ubiquitous to chat a little bit about things, and I think I'll maybe just go check and see what Kieran's been up to. She seems to be able to get into a lot of mischief left to her own devices, so maybe I think I'll just go grab a little something and see if I can find her and make sure she's all right.
If you think
Oh.
that is best.
Yes, make sure she does not any more fires.
And as a sort of aside that I'm hoping will go right over Dr. E's head, I'll give
Oh, I'm sure it will.
River a bit of a wink and head off in the other direction.
She kind of gives you a little toothy smirk in response.
Saying, showing.
Yeah, her little fang. Be kitty.
Was it a hint where she's just like, yeah, that would be lovely? Or like her teeth just don't move, just, yeah, that would be great.
It's the tail.
should
I'm
totally
sorry,
go.
I'm a cat.
No, her tail.
I'm a
gives
cat
her-
person, so yeah.
You know
the
exactly
tail.
what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
That like, I'm pretending to be okay with this, but I'm not fucking okay with this. I'm gonna bite you in 2 seconds.
Well, I don't want to get. The thing is, I don't want to get on the wrong side of rivers. So.
Yeah.
You want to be on the right side of the river.
Exactly.
Yeah, River's gonna take you around Agent Ubiquitous and kind of show you some of the highlights of the city. And so you guys get food, and then she takes you up to the rooftop of the building to kind of observe the moons. And if you want to say anything to her or ask her anything, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, we can just say you guys kind of had a pleasant conversation and a pleasant evening up there. Unless there's something you would like to do with part of your evening.
I mean, I actually don't have any further questions for her, at least none that I can think of at this time. He would probably, in his conversation, still be focused on the mission and what's going on. But again, nothing that hasn't already been covered in the previous conversation. What he might do is ask for a little bit of help if she's capable of doing so with reading the book and learning how to translate the ancient language. I don't know if that's one of her specialties, but
She says she would love to help you with that, but she does have a condition.
Oh no.
Uh,
And so it starts.
what might that be?
She requests that you take off your mask and have some drinks with her while she helps you study.
He goes through a straw. Just a flap that opens up.
Oh, well, as it just so happens, I tend to take off the mask when I do extensive reading anyways. To get laborious for the eyes. You can get on for too long.
How does that work? I'm trying to remember, because aren't you blind? Or is it just a nearsightedness?
It's excessively nearsighted.
Right, so you have like special reading glasses that you use, right?
You
I mean,
using me as
basically.
a reference for that shit?
No.
No.
I was nearsighted, so don't you
I'm
even.
like, you have to be right here for me to see you. Otherwise, it's just a sea of blur.
It's
asshole.
not nearly that bad. It's like 10 feet.
10 feet, that's a lot.
That is a
I
lot.
can't see
I wish
past
I
the end
could
of
see
my
10
fingers.
feet. Wish I could see 10 feet.
Hell, you can still
You
drive a
tell
car
that to
with 10
somebody
feet
who's
vision.
driving. No, you can't. Not very well.
Yeah, you can.
You can't.
You
It's
just
just-
end up having a car and good.
It's just a lot of instinct.
All right, let me put it this way. You won't know when to pull off on a freeway unless you've been there several times before.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Right. Refocusing. So with your help, if you do take off the mask and have some drinks with her, she will help guide you through the book with the moonlight. It's very bright with the two moons, so it's very easy to read by on the rooftop. And she uses her magic to like light a few of the candles that she has up there, or that are up there already for the occasion. And she kind of snuggles like a little close to you and just kind of like uses her claw to kind of guide and show, and she tries to like touch your hand a little bit too much, and like she does that kind of thing, being very flirty. And before that, she asked you about like where you were from and a little bit about like your life and adventures, and you can say whatever you really reveal of that is up to you. But
And I'm really sorry, but this goes full blown Sheldon on this. This like completely over his head. He's like, "What? Like, what are you doing? Can we get back to the reading?" Like,
Opposite of Dreskar. Opposite of Dreskar.
twitches irritatedly whenever you do that.
I mean,
He's quirk.
he's not rude. He's not rude or anything. He'll be courteous and answer her questions, but there's definitely an air of, I don't understand why you're asking. You know,
Obviously oblivious.
She sighs, and but we'll guide you. So go ahead and make this roll. I'm going to lower the DC since you're getting her help. You get to roll with advantage and add your proficiency to a straight intelligence roll.
so not a nat 20, but also not bad. 23.
Okay, yeah, that makes it. So you feel fairly confident after this evening with her and with the book that you can make a very solid attempt at translating ancient Saharan.
Awesome. Can I add it to my languages understood?
I would say yes, but you're not.
Fluent?
Add a note if you can that it's not fluent.
Okay.
You're familiar. You feel like you could do a basic translation, but it's not like you can just bust out speaking it, and you can't exactly write it. But you can make out some things. You're gonna be able to write some basics, but you're not fluent. You need more experience with it.
Okay. You know
All
what?
right.
Not letting me add that note, so I'm gonna have to figure another way to do it.
Yeah, if in your description or whatnot, we'll
Yeah.
So you all have a pretty pleasant evening. If there's anything else you would like to do, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move along.
Just a quick question. So do I catch up with Kieran and is everything chill?
Yeah, you catch up with her as she's kind of starting this dance portion of the ritual. And so it's very beautiful to observe. You can even join in because as she grabs people's hands from the crowd and leads them in this very flowing, water-like, river-like dance, with the moon. Usually the dance involves two figures to represent both moons, with a third one kind of rotating around them. And so she's kind of leading those dances. And then Elowen and Wisteria, you guys have a lovely time. You're able to get most of the stuff on the festival list, but there's a lot that are pretty culturally specific to Corvintis. But you're able to experience some new stuff too that you've never experienced in this land. So,
Yay.
you guys have a very nice evening together, nice date. You
Probably
all,
for
go ahead.
I was to say probably for a little bit of it. There's well, this isn't quite the same, but this will work.
It's not deep fried because we're in another country. They don't do a lot of deep frying.
Won't do that. So you guys have a full night's rest after the festivities, as long as you come back at a decent time. And you're woken up in the early morning by some of the hotel attendants. You arise and go out, and you see that you've got their camels are all packed with all of your belongings ready to go. You guys get your desert gear on and head on out.
Kieran's
Real
fascinated
quick.
by the camel. I
Real
also
quick,
want to
couple
know
things.
if she has a single or a double hump camel.
They are. Which one would you like?
I guess single hump.
Okay, you get a single hump. I'll let you guys pick if you have a single or a double hump camel.
I
Your
don't care. A camel's a camel.
Actually, that's not entirely true.
She's never seen one. She's totally fascinated by the thing.
Whatever the ones they had in the Mummy, the single hump ones.
Sure, yeah.
For racing.
So you guys get on your camels, and you head on out throughout the desert.
Quick
And is
question.
it time to take another break, Zoro? Should we take a break here?
Yeah, probably take one more. This could be our last break unless you want to push just a little bit longer. But yeah, this could be our last break.
All right. So
Just real quick before we do that, though, one thing that did happen the previous night, she would have seen my mask actually get up and walk around by itself since I took it off.
oh yeah, no, she totally batted at it a few times.
She probably had a more interactive experience with it than she did with me. So
Oh, wah,
Oh,
wah.
I
Wow.
I'm
finally
sorry. I'm sorry.
not the character to interact with. Thought I'd throw you a bone. No, I thought about like who would River be the most interested in this group? Probably him.
Pre- I mean, pretty much any other character would have totally gone for it, but sorry.
Poor River.
Yeah.
Well, she
He
still had
cock-blocked
some.
himself.
She can still at least say she wasn't alone on that day. It's like a
That's
mark
true.
of, if you're not with someone, hanging out with somebody. All right, so we'll go ahead and take our break, guys. Stay tuned. When we get back, we're gonna be traveling across the desert of the Asharai Desert to the location of the aforementioned tomb that we haven't gotten to this whole episode.
Yep.
We're getting
Yeah.
there.
I
Might be the
feel like we
last
did the
5
same
minutes.
thing.
We'll get there. All right, bye guys. We'll be back.
social medias.
Yep.
It's like
I
it's
am-
222, 22,
And
222,
we are
22.
back.
Woo!
I'm one of those
Hi,
people.
guys.
I will sadly admit that the joke 7, 8, why 6 afraid of 7 went over my head for about 16 years.
No,
Yeah. It took me a long time to get that one.
because we don't have a ton of time. So you guys begin traveling through the desert. The first day is pretty uneventful. You guys are prepared. You have all the clothing, rations, water that you need, and it is basically comes time for you guys to make camp. And so you guys make camp for the evening after a long days of travel across the desert. The desert is full of dunes, and very rarely do you see much signs of life. So it's been quite an interesting journey for you, long journey. You saw off in the distance at one point a sandstorm brewing, but you seemed like it was going in a different direction than where you guys were going, luckily, at the time. So if you look on Roll20, you guys are all kind of gathered around the camp. If you guys would like to set watches for the evening or anything like that, let me know.
Yeah, Wisteria can take a watch. I'll probably take... Oh god, I only slept 4 hours of the night, so I'll take something in the second half.
Okay.
I would definitely take a watch.
Yeah, Karen will do like a first or last watch because she needs the time for sleeping.
Yeah,
Okay.
depending on how many watches you need, I'll do a watch too at some point.
If Dr. E doesn't have to take a watch, he won't. But if he has to, he will.
And Ellen, do you want the book to study?
Yes, please.
Okay. Did you try to study on the journey there as well?
If the doctor would have allowed me, then yes.
The
'Cause he's
doctor's done
hogging the
with
book. Okay, I was gonna say, because he's hogging the book, so as soon as he's done, Ella was just like, gimme, 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 gimme.
Okay, so this is a bit of a challenge because you're doing it while traveling. So the DC will be a little bit higher, but go ahead and give me that straight intelligence roll.
Oh, it's 13.
You find it very difficult to study while on the move. However, now that you're at camp, if you would like to just kind of find a nice little quiet corner by the fire and read, you're welcome to do so before you guys take your evening's rest.
Yes.
Since I have finished my checks, can I help her now?
Yes, which will help lower the DC for her. So straight roll. I'm not giving you advantage, but lower the DC with his help.
Okay. Slightly better. Yeah, that's 17.
Thankfully, with his help, you were able to feel like you were able to soak in a little bit more of the knowledge. So you've passed your second box of the 3 that you need. And on your watch, if you want to continue to read, we can see that will be part of it, and then we'll see how you do on your journey. But all right, so who has first watch?
Karen will take first watch.
Okay, just give me that perception roll.
Yay.
This music.
That is an 11.
Okay. The desert seems to be pretty quiet tonight. You hear the sounds of some desert insects, but other than that, it's pretty quiet. And who has second watch?
I'll do second watch.
Okay. Go ahead and perception roll.
What is my perception? This is not good. It's a 7 for a 7.
Also seems pretty quiet. Nothing seems to be going on. Third watch?
I'll take third. Nope. Everyone wants third.
No,
You can go ahead.
that's cool. I can just take one in the middle because I don't need the uninterrupted sleep, so I can work around.
Oh, I'm awake for the day now, so.
Oh, okay. I'll take the watch then.
Okay.
So perception.
Yep.
Okay, so that's gonna be a 10.
Okay. And River takes that watch with you, and she sits beside you and kind of mumbles and mentions, like, I don't think that Agent Ubiquitous is interested in anything, really. He did not get any of my signals. Does he like other, like... Is he more into... Is it because I'm a tabaxi, you think?
Oh no, dear. I don't think it's anything like that. I think it's just him. He's he's really focused on his books and book learning, and he's pretty well oblivious to pretty much everything else. He's very nice and very smart, but I just don't think other things are really of much interest to him that I've found anyway so far.
Such is the way of me. I always pick the unattainable ones. Okay. And your watch goes by pretty uneventfully with River's company.
Since I'm awake during her watch, I'd like to set up a little space for myself.
Sure.
And I'm gonna start kind of go into like a meditation almost state, and then when I open my eyes, I'm gonna start going through spirits to see what skills they have, to see what I can pick up in this area, to see if I want to change it out yet, or if I want to wait. So I kind of look like I'm talking to the air right now as I'm going through into all these spirits that I've gathered around me.
Yeah. And what skills are you hoping to pick up for this next trip?
Looking for something that'll help us in the tomb, so I'm looking probably history, survival. She'd even go for a stretch and go for Arcana, if she can.
There's no Arcana. Survival is definitely there. That's probably the dominant one. Probably no history in this area either.
Okay. I think for now she'll swap out for the survival
Okay.
until she repeats again to see what else she can find.
Okay. So you do that, and then is there fourth watch at all?
That's me.
That's you? Oh, okay. So, yeah, you can go ahead and roll perception. I'll put something on my end.
Where's my... Where is my... I think it's a 12.
Okay.
Well, great.
Yep.
Yeah, it's plus 3 to 12.
So you are kind of sitting, and the three of you go ahead and position yourselves where you guys are sitting or sleeping. Everybody.
Hey, I think I recognize this map.
Yeah,
we've had a lot of battles on this map.
Is that where Wisteria, or is that where River is going to be?
Wherever you want to put her. Oh, River is wherever you go. She's gonna sit next to you.
Well, that was, yeah. So I was kind of thinking if she was sort of at X, I would sit. Oh, okay, all right. I would sort of be
there.
Next to
It's
her.
wherever you want to
Okay.
be.
Yeah. Okay.
Is this
Yeah,
brush and shrub actually out here?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably be off over here, kind of hanging out by the bushes, like a weirdo. Stealthy person. She doesn't want to be in the middle of the light.
Got it. And there are the sand looks very flat here, but it's actually kind of duned, like shaped where you can't quite see too far out in the horizon and stuff. I'm getting something set up. Sorry, guys.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Alright.
This is coming.
Now I need to change music. So we do that. I'm a very like disorganized DM, I guess. I'm still new at this.
You'll
Like
find a rhythm.
stuff. Here, we'll try this. It's mainly Sirenscape that I struggle with. Like,
I feel like that's not you, it's Sirenscape.
I am not as good
Yeah.
as HB Fox and Rojan with finding the good songs.
it's for me. It's like just switching between them, finding them. Like, I haven't been able to get the deck thing right, so I'm just like things that I've saved. I've got to remember where they are, and it's just hard. I'll get better at it. I just didn't have time to go through it in as much detail. Sure, I'll go with that for now. So in your guys' rest, you do start hearing this like yipping sound. And then I need dexterity saves from everybody.
Do
Do I fail because I'm asleep?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
sleeping.
Who are asleep are gonna auto this.
Dexterity
Everyone?
save. No.
Almost everyone.
That is. I can add tonight.
Dirty 20.
24.
Okay, so you guys make this. So you and then let me roll for River. Oh, poor River. She's not having a good time. So you guys
Distracted by her love loss.
as arrows just fly out from behind some of the dunes in the area. One of them strikes River in the leg, and then the others seem to strike at the sleeping bags of your companions.
No.
Let's see. Dr. E, you take 8 points of piercing damage. You take 4 points of piercing damage.
My homunculus saved on its save, by the way.
Who
Oh.
took 4 points?
He doesn't get hit. Kieran, you take 8 points of piercing damage.
Ow.
Yeah, I'm rolling 8s on this D8 like crazy. And then River also takes 8 points of damage.
What do
Can
I
we
take?
get rid of that D8, please?
Oh, I told you 4, Elowen.
It was me. I'm sorry. I thought you said Kieran at first.
Oh, Elowen. Sorry.
Oh god. Oh thank god.
So is this at the end of a long rest, or is this during a long rest?
This is early morning at the very like towards the tail end of the last watch. So you guys have had a long rest.
Trixie
for those-
DM.
Yeah. No, for those concerned about long rest, the long rest for the 8 hours is actually 6 hours of sleep and 2 hours of light
Yeah.
activity. Because there are some cheese mechanics you can do as a warlock because of that specific description of how sleep works. So you should be good as long as you got the 6.
Not why I was asking, but a good
Yeah.
clarification anyways.
So as you guys see bounding over the dunes seems to be a pack of bandit gnolls, armed
No.
and looking very menacing, all surrounding you. So go ahead and roll initiative, please.
No.
Knolls on this map?
Can you
Nah.
give Z on one of those so we can see what they look like?
I feel like Xena needs to be in this group.
One
I'll take them. I don't
of
want
the
face
gnolls looks unusually glorious.
With fabulous makeup.
One was missing an arm.
Fabulous makeup. Yeah, one's missing an arm. One looks real goth for some reason.
Yep.
Who am I missing?
I'm done with you, Die. I'm done with you.
Someone has a cracked shield and is very pissed off about it.
Yeah, yeah, one's gonna crack you.
There's a little one hiding behind the bush over here.
Oh, I need to add you guys to the tracker. Hold on.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if we were using it.
Oh, well.
It's good Yixis isn't in this group because he would have just opened up with a fireball.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
I'm glad I'm not facing Xena.
as Yixis is apt to do.
lost his book.
He accidentally set fire to his wizard book. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh.
Poor EX.
What is
He had spells scribed in there he couldn't even cast yet.
I'm really hoping when we start doing the shit list and Rose has to babysit the twins, that Yixis is in town.
I mean, if
Just find the library. He'll probably be there. Whatever passes for a library in the in Dagger Tree.
Oh God. I don't think they have a library.
Yeah, they do. It's Yixis' home.
Oh, okay. Well,
Nobody uses it but him.
Dr. E doesn't have a an initiative.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I had been added yet.
Oh, thank goodness. The one that goes before me is not near me.
For now.
I know, right?
Alrighty. So first up is River, and she.
You didn't reset the values because I actually got a 19 on my die.
Fine. Dr. E is first. The one who's
for-
dubbed River.
wow. Wow.
He didn't do it knowingly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He can't help himself. He's just him.
But does she see it that way?
So first things first, he's in the tent and he doesn't have his mask on because he doesn't sleep with the mask on, because that'd be suffocation nightmares right there. So he'll call out to his mask, Ramiel, to me, quickly, and to wait for the mask to cut him. So that's his turn for now, and the mask will follow up immediately by coming to him. It probably isn't too far away.
Okay. I will bring your mask up. Let me give you control of him. There you are. Save. All right, there he is. Go ahead and put him where he would be.
After the turn, he's on me.
Okay.
So I'll just move him off to the side for now.
That's
'cause
fine. If
after
you need
the
him
turn,
to be
he's on me.
separate, you have the token.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
No, I have to wait for it to get to me and whatnot.
Got it.
So
River puts her hand out and towards the nearest knoll, this one, and she goes, Anubis, judge this. And Sacred Flame basically comes out of her. So he's gonna do a dex save. Yay, he fails. And you see just this kind of bluish tinged flame surround this thing. Oh, good damage. Man, I am D8ing really well right now.
Don't know if we're happy about that.
Well, it gets us.
And that brings us to Wisteria.
Oh shit, not far up. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was lower, but what's a good angle? So she's gonna kind of run into the shrubbery. Is the shrubbery big enough to hide in?
Nope.
Damn it. We sneak into it, but damn it.
Little tumbleweed practically caught in some stones.
Hard to tell the picture.
Yeah, I know. That's why
Nah.
I'm describing it.
She doesn't want to get sandwiched, so we're gonna go here. Just move up. So yeah. We're gonna make a rapier attack first, followed up by my my bonus action is my second attack for 2-weapon fighting.
Do it.
Woo! That was a natural 20 on the first one.
Oh, nice. Roll
For a
that.
total of 26.
Yeah, do it.
We're just doing the double the dice roll, right?
Yeah. I'm just gonna. Is it this? No. Is it this?
16 piercing damage.
Little null face there for everybody to see. 16?
Nice. Yep.
Okay. Nicely done.
And then I'm gonna follow that up with a. Ooh, that's also a good roll. A 25 to hit with the dagger with our second attack.
25 to hit. Yep, that hits.
Ooh, max damage that for a total of 8 piercing.
Noted.
And then I just want to double check this because it's been a little while. Yep, that is my bonus action. So that is my turn.
He snarls and goes and dies.
Oh, sweet. I already got him out.
Hell yeah.
Well, it would have been better if I had sneak attack on that one. Just cuz.
Forgot to add one to the tracker here.
Yeah.
Roll for him.
That happens.
Just put him underneath. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do?
Nope, that's everything I can do. Well, actually, 10, that's 15 feet of movement, so I have another 15? Yeah. Well, I'll drop back down to where I was. Just move back, because it seems to be fairly centralized between the other attackers.
Alright. This one is going to throw a spear at you. Wisteria.
Okay.
Does a 16 hit you?
It does, unfortunately.
Okay. That's gonna be 7 points of piercing damage.
Alright.
He is yipsing. And then you hear an answering call on the other side of the dune where you can't see. You hear I think that's the only one of that kind, yeah. Kieran.
Alrighty, so there's a couple of these fuckers, and she hears like some more off into the distance. So she is going to move here. Which was the one that River hit with her spell?
Hit this one.
Okay. So she's going to bonus action summon her spiritual weapon next to that guy, like right here.
Okay. Let me bring up your spiritual weapon. And give you control of it. I meant to do that before the game started, but I didn't. Did not do that. Go ahead and put that where you want it.
Nice. Okay, cool. So it's going to be there. And it gets what's my spell attack? A 6, it gets a dirty 20 against that guy.
That hits.
Nice. Let's see. D8. Yeah, D8 plus or so casting modifier. Yeah, max damage. So that's 12 points of damage to that guy.
Nicely done.
And then as an action, she is going to invoke her Um, he's gonna invoke her Twilight Sanctuary.
Okay.
So I basically have a 30-foot radius around me, and then basically is it once per? It lasts for a minute, and then I'm trying to see if I have to use an action for it. Yeah, as an action, once per turn, I can either grant temporary hit points or I can remove a charmed or frightened effect.
It's an action? You sure about that?
Yeah,
I think it's
as
an action to pop it, but it should be if someone ends their turn in the effect. You get to do that. Unless they change the rules since I played it.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Whenever a creature, including you, ends its turn, you grant that creature. Okay.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
kind
so
of
it's everyone.
Everyone that's in the thing when they end their turn. So literally
Yeah.
at the end of everyone's turn, you get to do something.
Oh, okay. I misread that because I thought that would be a little bit too OP, but that's holy
No,
shit.
it
That's
really
OP.
OP. Yeah. Yeah, the Twilight Princess might be a little on the broken, or the Twilight Cleric might be a little on the broken side. But I like it.
And then, so then at the end of my turn, because it's the end of my turn, everyone inside that radius gets 1d6 plus 4 temporary hit points.
Only you do. So it's the end of your turn, you do, and then at the end, like if I'm in the circle, then at the end of my turn, then you can grant it to me. So it's when someone ends their turn in the circle.
Whenever a creature ends its okay, gotcha. So my turn ends, so I'm gonna get.
Can you do that? Is it one of your special abilities? Like you do it?
It's my channel
It's a
divinity.
class feature.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So basically, it's my alternate to turn undead.
Yeah.
So I have right now 8 temporary hit points.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's a pretty badass challenge divinity.
And that is my turn.
Are those enduring temporary hit points? Like
As long as you're inside at the end of your turn, it resets. But the thing is, the way I've ruled temporary hit points, unless the temporary hit points that you have exceed what you currently have, it doesn't override. So that's up to Kiara if she wants to do that. That's just how I do it, because for me, it just kind of blows. Like, if you get a good roll and you get a crap roll and you lose like temporary hit points. So
I can't think. I don't know. Do what you do. do the thing. Whatever spell says is fine. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Focusing on enemies' actions here. So this gnoll goes up to Crystal, and he looks bigger and more menacing than some of the other gnolls, and he's carrying a giant glaive. And he takes the glaive and just lashes it across you. He gets a 24 to hit, which I'm guessing hits Crystal.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be, I rolled low, so only 5 points of slashing damage. Rolled stupid low. And he gets multi-attack, so he is going to go ahead and slash again with his glaive. And gets a 17 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. And that's going to be 8 points of slashing damage. As he kind of snarls and growls in your face. And then yips. And again, you hear some answering yips in the distance. Elowin.
That's not good that there's other yips in the distance. I wake up and I'm just like, huh? It's like hit while I was sleeping, and I see there's a gnoll like right near me, and I'm like, oh fuck. Arrow, go ahead. All that all simultaneously. So I'm gonna go ahead and
welcome Raiders.
Hans loves D&D.
Welcome.
Welcome on in, Raiders. Now I have that. Oh crap, now I have it blocking me. Thank you for the follows, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, not a fan of what's happening here. Yeah, I'm gonna be stingy.
You get shot in your sleep. I don't understand.
I did, yeah, no, it's not good times happening right now. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do Old Faithful, and I'm just gonna firebolt this guy right here.
Do it.
Because now that it's a new day, I don't know if we're gonna get another long rest, so I'm like, be stingy. I can't math. That is 17 to hit.
That hits.
Oh, thank God. Okay. It's a 10. Oh, it's okay. That's 5 fire damage. I did not roll high.
All right.
And if it has anything on its person that is flammable, it is now ignited. So if he has some loincloth thing on, it's on fire.
Then he's on fire.
Yeah!
Fire is flammable, right?
Some cloth on him that's dried out from the sun that
know.
would probably catch on fire.
It doesn't really do
Actually,
anything.
the cheese ball combo for that is you have 2 wizards and they both either have grease or fireball or firebolt, and whoever goes first greases and then the other one firebolts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Like,
So
he's
yeah,
not on fire.
I'm gonna give him disadvantage on his attacks because he's panicking because he's on fire until he puts it out. And then what was the damage again? I'm sorry, it was 16.
It was just 5. It was 5 fire damage.
I don't know why.
And I'm. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna step. You know what? No, I'll stay where I am. I'm good. I'll stay where I am. I will have my dagger out though, just in case. I'll have my dagger out in case this guy gets up in my face. My special dagger.
Crystal?
Oh no, your turn ends, so you get
Oh yeah.
you get 8 points of you get 8 temporary hit points.
That's a lot for squishy me.
Gotta love Twilight Cleric.
Cool. All right, that's it.
What would you like to do, Crystal?
So Crystal gets 2 attacks, correct?
Yes. I don't know. What do you get? You know your character better than me.
I believe would be 2 like each attack would be an action.
No,
so
it's
Not till 5.
Not until level 5.
Oh, and we're 4, so just 1. Okay.
Pick your gun. You got 3.
Yeah, I'm just.
You do got a shotgun that's kind of made for shit like this.
Well,
they're spread out a little bit right now. If they were,
I think they're a little too spread out for that. That's the thing.
Shotgun's usually made for short range, though.
However, shotguns are for short range, so you wouldn't have disability, or you wouldn't have disadvantage on the shot if you use the shotgun because it's right in front of you. So that is true.
Yeah, but I do have a limited amount of ammunition.
True.
I think the shotgun are. If it's a blunderbuss, then yes. But I think if it's a shotgun, it's supposed to get rid of that because shotguns are close range weapons.
That's why I said she wouldn't have, would not have.
Okay, I misunderstood. Sorry.
I might have said it wrong. I meant to say she would not have disadvantage because it's short range.
Yeah. All things considered, I think she's just going to whip out a pistol and shoot him at point blank range.
Great,
The one right in front of her.
Do you have a feat that allows you to shoot at point blank without disadvantage? Otherwise, it's at disadvantage.
Okay.
Does she have? Do you have the sharpshooter feat?
I just hang on.
I don't think sharpshooter gets rid of. Crossbow expert gets rid of disadvantage at close range.
The crossbow expert, sharpshooter, like whatever, however it's being skinned or flavored, if I'm remembering correctly, removes the point blank disadvantage.
Thing that does. I don't remember what it's called, but that's what I was.
Yeah,
wondering.
I have adept marksman and violent shot and deadeye and a few others, but I don't think I have that one. So maybe what I'll do is I will just take out my rapier and just slash him with my rapier,
Sure,
and
yeah,
then there's no
yeah.
disadvantage
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
the damage is going to be the same anyway.
Yeah. So you reach down, you grab your rapier and slash it up at him.
Okay, so oh crap. And I get a plus +5. That's still not going to hit. I don't think. An 8.
No, that misses.
No.
So he kind of deflects it with his own weapon, his spear.
Yeah. So that's it then for me, I think.
Okay. So the other gnoll.
I shit you not. I rolled another 4. You get 8 points of temporary hit points.
Nice.
This die likes rolling 4s. I'm gonna keep rolling this one.
No, that is a bit broken, isn't it?
It is. From having played one, it is.
Not as broken as the fucking giant D20s y'all got from fucking HB Fox.
Mine rolled low once. It rolled a 9.
These gnolls kind of yip out, and you guys see as about 10 other gnolls come out from behind the dunes and surround you. And they're getting closer, and they all have their spears kind of aimed at you. And you guys feel like this is not a good situation. Things are gonna get messy. And hopefully maybe they just want to rob you. You're not sure what's about to happen. And when things feel like they're getting extremely dire, you hear the sound of a horse neighing in the distance. And you hear the sound of multiple horses' hooves kind of galloping in. And over the dunes, you see a battalion of Anubian warriors. And they start immediately cutting down the gnolls. So I'll just share like one of the tokens so you guys can see what they look like, but I'm not going to put them around, but just envision this happening. But oops, I did not do that right. I always hit the wrong button. It's Shift-Z. So that's what they look.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Yes. Love it.
And they
Also
have-
known as the cavalry, right?
Yeah, the cavalry has come. So these Nubian warriors surround and cut down these bandits. And then they start making a circle around you and kind of gathering you guys together in the center. And a figure that looks like it might be their leader starts to come forward. And I'm going to change the music real quick. Let me switch it to this one again, actually. Do that one. So they come forward, and he takes a look at River and notices her amulet and gives a nod to her, and they kind of stand down and they take their long spears that are almost like lances, and they kind of put them at rest. And he'll come down from his horse while the others kind of back off a little bit, and he'll look over the group. What are such as you doing in this far into the desert?
We are with the Chimera Collective. We are here to investigate the ruins of the temple that was discovered not far from here. The people are disappearing, causing the curses that are infecting your lands.
He looks back at the other warriors, and they have a moment of almost like a silent conversation with each other, and just very slight motions. Their ears kind of just twitching a little bit and making little motions with their faces, and then he turns back to you. I don't know of this group. The city, Makaran, it is cursed. You should leave.
It is cursed, yes. And that's why we are here to try and stop it. It is what we do. We are not from here, but our group likes to help wherever we can. Where people fail, we try to come and investigate and prevail, if possible.
He approaches you since you're speaking, Elwyn, and gets like uncomfortably snoz to snoz with you and sniffs and kind of looks very deeply into your eyes for a moment. And
She'll
then
stare back without blinking.
And then backs up a bit. None who enter return.
We have been told. Hopefully we'll come back. Guess we'll find out. I like to think that we could solve it and come back.
You are confident in your skills?
I am, as well as my crew here.
And
We're
then
quite
he'll walk
capable.
around. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying we're quite capable.
He'll walk around and kind of like scan each of you up and down and takes a moment in front of each of you, just maintaining eye contact. He's a very intimidating figure, but he doesn't seem hostile to you. He just seems like he's judging you.
Judge me.
Don't judge me.
And he has he has, along with like a Nubian like scales on some of his armor, he has another amulet that you don't seem to recognize the symbol of. Not immediately. If anyone would like to roll for it, you're welcome to do so.
I was just gonna say, am I allowed?
Is it
Be
is it
a
religion?
Or religion, yeah. History or
Sorry.
religion.
Oh, history. Oh, thank God. I'm gonna do history.
I'll do history.
Okay.
Why not give it a shot?
Hey.
Jesus, roll
19.
25.
Okay.
If you're waiting, I got 9. No.
Got it. Yeah, you don't recognize
Oh,
it.
honey bunches. Oh no.
It's okay.
Anyone else was trying or no?
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so no. Crystal?
8.
Okay, no. So the two of you, Elwyn and Dr. E, you guys both recognize from your readings of the transcripts that a few of these, that this symbol is actually a hieroglyphic, and you recognize it as a symbol of from an excerpt that was provided to you in the book from the Saharan Book of the Dead. But you don't know exactly what it's associated with, but you know that it was from like an excerpt that was provided to help you with learning the translations from the Book of the Dead, and it came up, and you think it has something to do with judgment. And he says, if you must go, I caution you and leave you with these words. Mirrors of the soul cannot lie. The greatest treasure man can offer was hoarded there. Remember those words, or they may be helpful to you.
The greatest treasure man can offer was hoarded there?
The greatest treasure that man can offer was hoarded there.
It was hoarded, okay.
These are the only secrets of the city that we are permitted to give. We've taken an oath not to speak of more.
Then I take it you know more about this city than maybe even the archaeologists knew about.
They nod.
Are you protectors of this ruined city then, perhaps? A long line of this order, perhaps?
They nod. Hail Neba, who comest and goest, I have not uttered lies.
You know what? Fuck it, I'll insight check it. Just to see.
Sure.
To see if he is. I believe him, but just Wow, okay. I believe him. 100%.
Okay.
That's a 6.
Got it. Those, and then Elowen and Dr. E, could you, after hearing the name Neba, give me one more history check, religion check.
Neba. That's not as good.
What? 10?
8.
8. Okay. Yeah. Doesn't ring any bells for you. Elowen?
Oh, was I allowed to roll too?
Yep.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was him. I was writing down notes. Sorry,
Your
what kind of check was
DC
this?
Your DC is just higher because you haven't finished the book yet.
That's fair.
But at hearing the name Neba, give me a history check.
History. You do history. Maybe. That's a 17.
Okay. It's ringing a bit of a bell. You feel like it's associated also with the Book of the Dead, but you're not exactly sure. And
Okay.
they will he kind of does a loud whistle, and the others kind of start preparing to leave, and he goes moves to go get up on his horse and says, I wish you well, I wish you the best on your journey. I caution you and encourage you to turn away, but if you must, we cannot stop you.
I have more questions, but something tells me that you're not going to say anything else. So I appreciate the warning. And she'll bow back respectfully. Thankful for his warning.
And he looks you in the eyes again, like pointedly, and says, mirrors of the soul cannot lie.
The greatest treasure man can offer is hoarded there. I remember.
And he gets up on his horse, and then they all raise their spears and say, Hail Neba, who comest in ghost, I have not uttered lies. And then they ride off. And then River looks a little shaken. And she is kind of clutching her amulet and looks concerned and thoughtful.
What was that all about? You look shaken.
It was what they said.
Which part?
All of it. But I do recognize the Neba is from the Book of the Dead. It's one of the 42 judges. 42 that would weigh a soul and determine if it was worthy to go into the afterlife. An important figure in our history, in my religion. These are the Order of Neba. I thought them to be myth as well, but to see them, to hear their warning, it concerns me.
From what I gathered from our short time talking to them, it sounds like they really only appear around perhaps this ruined city to protect it, and that's probably why you don't see them. My guess.
I suggest you heed their warnings well, and the words that they said, keep in mind. Well, let us go. We should, I don't think we'll have any more trouble after this, but we should get to move on. We're wasting day.
In your religion, is it hard to pass these judges to pass on to the afterlife?
They weigh your soul. Many things are judged. If you lie, that's what Neba is predominantly associated with, is lies. If you hurt someone, killed someone, if you stole things, many, many things are judged by the 42 judges. They look at 42 different things, aspects of what makes a soul worthy. And if it's the darkness weighs more, then you are not granted access to the afterlife. Weighed against a feather.
I was just curious if that's why I found so many spirits hanging around your city.
Sometimes the judgment takes a while, especially when spirits are not ready to leave unfinished business. But it is a very large city, so it is not unusual to feel the presence of such.
Either way, it does seem that myth more so is starting with reality.
Seems so. And alarmingly so. Well, the sooner I get you there, the sooner you can solve what is going on. So, follow me. And she'll get up on her camel and lead you guys off. And you guys, sorry, we're going over a little bit. I'm just gonna find a good stopping point. So, you guys,
we're not over.
travel for a while, multiple hours of the day, and as it gets towards late afternoon, you start seeing signs of some buried civilization. You see these broken pillars, and only the tops of them. It's like the sand is covering the majority of the city, and only like the tallest structures were able to come through on the top. And as you're traveling through, you do see more and more of these broken pillars and kind of the tops of things. All kind of really ancient stonework that's been crumbled and aged by the sandstorms on the outside and the elements that it has been exposed to. But you can tell much of the city, again, has been submerged in sand. And then River leads you to kind of a central area where you start seeing signs of the expedition. You see tattered remains of tents and tools that were left behind by the digging crew. You see these large wooden like crane-like structures, things that they use with pulley systems to pull up large stones and boulders and move them out of the way. And you see a tip of a pyramid-like structure, with hints that it goes much further underground, but you're not sure how far. And there's a section of it that has been removed and opened that you can see they've taken a large section of stone and created an opening, found an entrance to this area. And beside the pyramid-like tip structure, you see the tops of these grand heads, and one of them is oh, welcome raiders, Windrick, I think.
Windrick.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so
Welcome,
much.
guys.
Welcome. We're wrapping up, but we're happy to have you here. So you see beside the pyramid-like structure that is, again, predominantly submerged in the sand, there are the tops of these grand statues that you imagine are hundreds of feet tall. And this large lioness-like head with jewelry carved into her, beautiful figure. Thick kind of like, Egyptian style makeup designed on the stone that's been carved out. But pieces of it have worn away, like it's missing, the ears broken off, part of the chin is missing, some of the necklace is missing, and then and the crown that is like this crystalline crown, and parts of the crystalline has been broken and missing. It's all this sandstone statue. And on the other side is this grand pharaoh statue, again, leon in figure, in this like pharaoh like headdress. And again, parts of it are broken off. The nose is broken off, and part of the headdress is broken off. One of the teeth that was showing has been chipped away, but you can see those two grand statues and the entrance there. And River makes a suggestion that you guys rest and make camp for the night before venturing into the temple itself. And that is, I think, where we will end tonight, and we will start off next session entering the temple, finally, the temple palace of Makaran.
Yay!
Get a little bit of clarification about the statues. We're basically seeing them just the heads, the rest is buried.
Yeah, it's like a bust, like you're seeing.
Okay,
just
and
like this,
how
you get the sense
big
that there's-
would they be? Like how many feet tall
So
would
they
the
would be
head
like
be?
hundreds of feet tall.
I'm guessing they're like
Large.
imagine the Sphinx.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm getting.
But we're only seeing the top of it.
yeah.
So we imagine the rest of it's underground.
Yeah, like
That
if you
means a
look at
lot.
if you look at old pictures of the excavation of the Sphinx when they
Yeah.
first found it, like it sounds literally like those old photos because the first photos of it is literally just its head, and
Yep.
then they spent like years digging out the rest of it.
That's what you see. So you gather the temple is also probably a very large structure.
Yeah,
Underneath
that's gotta
the
be
ground.
big. Big boy.
Maybe they just haven't come back because they're too busy exploring. Jeez,
I
everyone's all doom and
mean-
gloom.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
that seems about
just
right
inside.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just inside
Fine.
hanging out.
They just
Fine.
coincidentally are exploring different facets of the underground city, so they haven't run into each other yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I mean,
fine.
if it's that big, it makes sense, right?
Plus, they said it's a city. It's gotta be big. Same.
Yeah.
Well, the city is all around it. The section that they were focusing on is the temple palace, which is the focal point of the city. Which is
Don't ruin
where
this for me.
Don't you?
sorry.
We were trying.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Everything's
I'm
fine.
kidding.
You're putting positive spins on this.
The city itself very submerged.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry we
Big
didn't get
palace.
to like actually dungeon diving into this temple palace, but we had some great
That's
moments
fine.
of RP and everything happening.
Mhm.
So hopefully everyone enjoyed it. Audience out there, please join us again. We'll be coming back with part 2 next Friday. We start at 7:30 Pacific Standard Time. We also have a ton of other amazing shows. Please join us again on Monday for our wonderful Mass Effect D&D 5e like game. It's sci-fi space space
That's the way you
dating.
said it. It's like space dating. I mean, it's Bioware. Of course, there's dating involved.
It's Bioware, yeah.
What you talking about?
Managed by our lovely Zero for Me 3. Tuesday we have Wanna Behold Roleplay's longest running shows, Destiny Forged, in their 3rd season, right? Am I getting that right? 3rd season? 3rd
We're
campaign?
on
Yes.
campaign 3, yeah.
Yeah, 3rd
Yeah.
campaign. So for their kind of like a horror themed in the it's you guys are like in like an icy wilderness right now.
Yeah.
New part of the world, so it's very exciting.
Horror ice skate.
Super creepy, super
Yeah.
freaking creepy. Dolls, I did not like that part.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, neither did I.
It was
Neither did I.
fine. It was totally
not
fine.
Fine.
Yeah,
alternating
because the dolls like you.
Yeah.
Alternating Saturdays, we have games. So we have Wayward Wanderers, which is a Pathfinder campaign that is run by Azerin. And we have Withered Waste, which is run by our DM Rojan, who also does Destiny Forged. And so that will be this Saturday. So feel free to join us tomorrow for Withered Waste. And we
Fingers
also
crossed
have
everybody's
the
healthy.
whole lore show on the first Tuesday, right? Do I have that right?
For Saturday.
First
First
Saturday.
Saturday.
First Saturday of every month for some lore about the shows that we have on Behold Roleplay. So please check us out. We've got a YouTube if you missed anything. We love y'all. We hope that you come back and watch not only this show but our other shows. So thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Spend some time with some people that you love, or just give yourself some self-love. Take some time for yourself, that's important too. So
Yeah.
have a love-filled weekend. We love y'all. Have a great night. Bye.